Hey,
What's going on, man?
hey, what's up, man?
How are you tonight?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm getting over a cold and flu that kicked my ass.
Yeah,
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 so I'm
kids
gonna
are
be
good for
coughing.
that.
Yeah, it's just like a freaking germ facility.
Yeah,
We think like we're out of the woods, and then somebody else gets sick.
I got this
It's-
weird hair that is on the camera and it's driving me nuts because I look like Edward Furlong T2.
well, that will be a good segue for Terminator talk.
Yeah. So I guess we're talking uh best movie monsters,
Yeah,
creature
our
design.
buddy, our buddy Chris out in California that works for Legacy Effects wanted to hang out with us tonight and talk about creature like the greatest creature designs in cinema,
Yeah,
and that sounded pretty cool. I thought that would be a cool little discussion.
yeah,
Um,
be fun.
he is, I'm sure he'll be here eventually.
Okay. Well, whatever. I got a six pack, so as long as
uh,
we make it.
yeah, yeah, me got it. So, oh no, you want to, and we know our buddy Chris. He's really not into the older films, like anything black and white. He
Yeah,
kind of shuns. What's going on, Abby? So maybe we should, if there's any black and white stuff, um, black and
yeah.
white
Well,
monsters
I
we want
mean,
to talk
mine's
about,
not
maybe
black
we should
and
do that.
white, but yeah, I'll start.
All right.
I'm gonna do my namesake tonight, the Metaluna monster, which is actually the Metaluna mutant, but I got really overzealous with the keyboard and typed monster instead. But that
You're
is
going with
this guy right here. I'll show you. I have my bank here. Somebody awesome got me this for a gift, and I use it to store my change. And
this guy.
yeah, this guy and this guy. Yep. It's one of my favorite creature designs. I mean, it's like steampunk Mars attacks with like He-Man. I mean, this dude totally fits in like the He-Man universe, and He-Man's like my grow up thing.
Yeah, he does look
So
kind of
like
like
I could totally
like a
see him as like one of
Skeletor
Scout's
henchman, or even like
allies.
A Ninja Turtle like mutant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean he's kind of ripped, so I would say he fits in the He-Man universe.
What movie is
But
this? You're this
I mean
Silent
he's
Earth?
got like a 13 pack abs. So
He does.
um but I mean,
Yeah, everyone's in it. Richard's up in there, Clint's in there, Claire's in there. What's going on,
oh,
everybody?
that's awesome. Hey guys, how's our Hamity friends?
They're doing. Everyone's showing out
Yeah.
to see us mumble and stumble over our words.
But yeah, I mean it's from This Island Earth, which was I actually saw for the first time as Mystery Science Theater 3000 the movie. But
Mr. Ryan Joyner.
yeah. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there
Abby
he
and
is.
I.
How long has Chris been there?
Couple of minutes. Hey
What's
guys.
going on, dude?
Oh, I'm
Hey,
sorry. Man. My whole day's been insane. So I'm just glad I was able to make it. Sorry, I'm late.
oh,
No,
no worries.
you're good,
Happy to
man.
see you, Chris.
Yeah, dude.
How the hell are you guys, man? What have you been talking about? What I miss?
Well,
Dude,
I just started. We just
we hit
started.
all the heavy hitters already. Sorry, dude.
We did Predator.
We
We
got
did
Alien,
Alien.
Terminator. Like we got it
Of
mostly covered.
course.
So
Well, you're here for the sign out. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, it's good to see you guys, man. It's been a
You
while.
too, dude. It's been a
Yep,
minute.
yep, yep. Good to see you.
So,
I always like to get to put out there to everybody that you do work for Legacy Effects out in Hollywood, and you are
yeah,
the
yeah.
man.
So
You
for
are
anybody,
in the
for
thick of it.
anybody that doesn't know, Legacy Effects used to be Stan Winston Studios. Stan died, I think in 2007 or maybe it was 2008. And then the guys, all the supervisors got together and they started Legacy Effects, kind of to in honor and remembrance of Stan. And that's why they went with the whole legacy thing, legacy of Winston Effects and whatnot. And yeah, man, they just kind of started from scratch, and we've just been kicking a lot of ass, since. It's been amazing. I mean, I've been so fortunate to work on so many incredible films and TV shows, and I mean, I can't say what I'm doing, but I'm working on the new Alien right now, and it's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. Oh no.
It's a shame you
hear
don't
that?
drink, because I just make you do like shots, like some kind of drinking game, and then like just have you like spill the beans. Oh,
I'm
well.
pretty good at that.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome, man. I've been able to work on like just incredible things, man, like the Avatar films, and one of the first films I worked on was Blade, back in '97, and that's a pinnacle film. I think that's I think that's one of the best comic book films of all time. I mean, I put Blade in a top 5 status.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you hear that, but one of my kids is freaking out, so I apologize about that. Like I said, it's been a day.
My kids behave perfectly, Chris. That's
really?
unacceptable.
Oh, man.
I don't know, man. They perfectly at all times.
But Blade was awesome, man, because I got to work on that film under Greg Canham. At the time, his company was Canham Creations, and one of the first things I did working there is I worked on Pearl, the obese vampire that Blade finds in the catacombs of the library. And man, that was incredible, man. It was the first time I had really worked with some of the materials, like some of the silicones we were working with, I wasn't familiar with. Like I had never used that in college. I just had done at that point mainly foam latex with a little bit of gelatin. So to do those silicones just right out of the gate, to start my career was awesome, man. And I mean, it was such a big piece. Like that vampire, I think with the silicone, I want to say, I mean, it was definitely hundreds of pounds. I think in the movie they say Pearl's 600 pounds.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that heavy, but I'll definitely tell you with those silicone slabs that made up that body, it was definitely 200 plus pounds. And then they did the makeup, the prosthetic foam makeup on the actor who at the time was a comedian. I can't remember what show he was on. He might have been on Mad TV. I'm not quite sure. But he was the guy that was cast as Pearl. And it was awesome, man. I got to work on some really great shit for that film, and kind of just catapulted me into my whole career. It's been a fucking crazy ride, man.
Hey, you're getting a lot of love in the comments, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, here's a
thanks,
dude,
guys.
you're a rock star.
You can most recently see Chris's work in Antlers. Well,
Oh
in
yeah.
Antlers.
Our buddy Don wants you on his podcast. It's a great podcast. You should definitely.
Oh sure, man. I'd love to.
Horror.
Yeah, I'd love to do it, guys. I just to come where I've come from, just a little town in Indiana, and I didn't know shit about shit, and I wanted to make monsters and work on cool things, and growing up on those types of films, I knew I had to get out here at some point, so I went to AIP, the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, and once I was done with it, I was just a mediocre student, but I just knew I had to get out to LA. However I made it out here, I just had to get to LA. And then once I got out here, I doubled my effort, and I just got real fucking serious, and I started it all, man, from fucking nothing. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude. It's a hell of a success story. You know what I mean? So many people try to go down that path and fail. You're looking at 2 of them up top. Right?
Well, I mean, so I moved out here with 4 other people. All 4 of those people are out of the industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's tough.
I mean, I don't have to tell you. It's a breakneck industry to get into. It's super competitive,
I could never survive
if you're not
Los Angeles traffic. So
But then, you know,
I just don't have that work ethic. I'll be honest with you. Like I think that I do, but then like you try to get into an industry like that, and it's tough. It's cutthroat.
yeah, as a matter of fact, I tell a lot of new kids, I'm like, man, I don't know how much longer what you know to be our industry, how much longer that's going to last as it currently is. I've seen a lot of major changes since the late 90s, especially, you know, with the rise of CGI and just how much better it's gotten. You know, I look at early CGI like I look at early makeup effects. You know, there's good stuff, there's bad stuff, there's mediocre stuff, but you know that who's ever doing that, they're mastering their craft and doing those techniques over and over and over again. And it's just a matter of time before it gets better and better and more realistic. And I think that's where CGI is going. I think it's become to a point where it's so good that you still definitely need practical effects. You need makeup effects, for example, like all the stuff we did for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I mean, we hit a Guinness Book of World Records, you know, the most makeup effects ever created for a film. And I didn't know that. James Gunn tweeted that out and it shocked the hell out of me. But you still need us for things like that. Yeah, there's digital makeup effects as well, and they're getting better. But to have a foundation that the digital artist can go over, whether it's to change a skin texture, to change the width of a set of eyes, to widen the nose, to elongate the mouth, you know, if you have a base, like a three-dimensional base, it just makes that better.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think CGI will ever get to that point though, where it just is like to me, like I can even the most flawless CGI, I can tell that it's at like uncanny valley. You know what I mean? Like you can tell that something is off about it. And to me, I don't know. Like, you know, practical effects still have so much more weight to them than even the greatest of CGI. And I don't know. I don't know if that's ever going to change. I mean, like,
Sure.
you know, 20, 30 years from now, who knows? But, you know.
Well, to give you an example, let's go back to the first Marvel film that they did, Iron Man. So that was the first film that we had done with Marvel. And we were still Stan Winston Studios when we did that movie. So that was the final film that we did under the name Stan Winston Studios. And we did, you know, brand new techniques and made those suits, and they were super badass. And they still did some CGI stuff. And the CGI suits in the first Iron Man are awful. They're not very good. You can absolutely, like you were just saying, Adam, you can totally tell the difference between what we did and what's in that film, what they shot, and then the digital suits that they made. And it's a striking difference. And our stuff obviously looked better. Same with part 2. You start to see the evolution of the digital model get better and better and better. And then into part 3, they started getting even better. And then by the time they started doing the Avenger movies, man, I can't fucking tell. I can't fucking tell sometimes. Sometimes I can. Most of the time I can't. What's ours and what's not. And I'd say probably 3/4 of the stuff that you see now of Iron Man is digital.
Yeah.
So we used to do half of it, maybe 3/4 of it, and now we do barely anything.
Just show up and collect checks. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, the evolution of the industry, really, and just, you know, how things are going, how things are going to progress with these movies. It's going to be crazy, like, to see what movies our kids grow up with and, like, what kind of effects, you know, they're going to have, like, when they're reaching adulthood. You know what I mean? It's going to be, like, crazy.
Well, is it going to be all AI?
Yeah, really. Could be.
My God, man, some of those AI.
It'll just be like a cast of the greatest actors ever, because they'll just pay a check to the, you know, to the.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't got like
an entire cast.
Like,
with
yeah,
like,
an entire movie with like a dead actor in it. Like, I can't, like, here's $2 million or $2 billion. Let us use Bruce Lee's likeness and just do like an entire movie with one of those,
or redo Game of Death with all digital Bruce.
Right.
You know,
I think that's coming.
It's totally coming.
You guys think that? I think it's totally coming.
It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
Those estates for those dead actors and actresses are going to get so much money for that. And then I think even beyond that, I think eventually they're going to go back and they're going to clone, because it's going to become legal in some retrospect, and they're going to clone dead actors and sports athletes, and we are going to see the second comings of people like Michael Jordan, Cary Grant, Robert Redford. I'm telling you, man, I totally believe
dude.
that shit's
I'm
coming.
waiting for Elvis, dude. Elvis will be one of the first ones out the gate. Serious. But yeah, dude. Anyway, it's just awesome to see you guys, and we're all back together again here, so that's freaking cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, how cool would it be if they got like an all-star Hammer Dracula versus Frankenstein with Christopher Lee's
Yeah,
digital
I mean, Hammer will
avatar?
never have never have enough money. Hammer will never have enough money to pay their estate
I know.
for their likenesses, like, ever. So I hope somebody's maybe Elon Musk is a Hammer fan, and you can
Yeah.
Hey, are they still around? Hammer's still around?
Yeah.
They
came back, but it
what
was
they do?
like
The Woman in
thing
Black or
only.
something. They made like The Woman in Black.
They
And
did
like
a
there was like
couple
this
of
big.
movies, and they did the Let the Right One In remake.
Oh, okay. What a great movie, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But
They made like this big to do in this press release how they were back and they were going to take horror. They were going to take horror back to where it used to be, the heights of the, and like they made like a handful of movies, that Harry Potter guy, and kind of just like fizzled out. Like, have they made anything in the last 3 or 4 years? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know.
trying to think myself, but I
think a modern Hammer would be better than the OG Hammer, because I think they would have less boundaries, with a more free society, especially over there. And I think you could get some real dark, gritty shit.
They could do dark, gritty shit, but like an important part of Hammer is like the whole sex factor, because that's really what they did, was they pushed the envelope on sex in horror movies, especially in the later, the 60s and 70s. They really pushed a lot of like, sleaziness, and they added some much needed sleaze to these period piece horror stories. So, and sex in horror movies right now is practically non-existent.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
what would Jason do today? He'd just like walk around bored in the woods.
I'd be like, oh, you kids are
lonely Jason. Be like lonely Virgil at the wrestling con.
He's like,
lonely
somebody's
Jason
out there fucking
kicking around a bush, like, damn it, will somebody have sex so I can kill somebody? But anyway, my dream is for like what Legendary did with Godzilla movies. I want somebody to pick up the tab with Hammer and like make these movies again, and make them matter, and throw some money at them, and get people invested and pumped up, and like it would be awesome. Like, but I guess that's what they were trying to do with like the Dark Universe a few years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And they were just, those
Epic
movies were just atrocious,
I mean, I think the problem is they picked The Mummy, and there was already a popular series of The Mummy with Brandon Fraser. And if they wanted to go the route of The Mummy, they could have done it with Brandon Fraser as opposed to Tom Cruise, who I love Tom Cruise, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't the right pick. And then turning The Mummy into an X-Men was also kind of a bad idea.
Like the only reason I was even interested in that Mummy, because in that Mummy reboot, was because Tom Cruise had signed on. Because like he doesn't sign on to do like a trash movie. Sometimes it like turns out to be trash. Like, if he's on board, generally you think, all right, that movie is going to be good, if not great.
Yeah, he doesn't half-ass it.
He doesn't half-ass it, and
and he did it in that movie either.
He's very particular about like the scripts and the people he works with. So I was just like, dude, this could be something. And then like it wasn't. It just was bad. So,
but I think we want to get back to the point of like cinema being you know, like I can't wait to see like a James Dean Marilyn Monroe movie come out and Elvis is in there singing or whatever, and everyone's gonna be like, "What the hell is this abortion?" You know?
But anyway, like the whole idea behind our little get together tonight is we wanted to do like a little chit chat about our favorite creature designs.
Oh yeah.
So and I know we're all very opinionated about this topic. So
But
you
I
guys
think
wanna-
there's a definite agreement, right? On a lot of, like, I'd say out of a top 20, there might be a couple of different shuffles in there, but I would think that we would have a very similar
yeah, I'm sure
top
that there
20.
is. I think
Yeah,
the
I mean,
only
but like the thing that's hard for me is that like I segment horror. I mean, our horror movie group is 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And there's like 60s creatures that I like the Metaluda mutant that we kind of started with. And you know, I like, you know, the invasion of the Astro Monsters and the Blob. The original Blob design was awesome. But you know, it's not gonna compare to like the shit you see in The Thing or, you know, Alien or Predator or anything like that. So, I mean,
oh.
of the time,
Hey, Ryan, I might have accidentally deleted your comment, dude. I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to reply to you. So anyway, sorry.
I see
Continue.
what you're saying, Paul. So like you have like heartfelt affection for some of them, not just on a technical level, but just something that affected you and made you feel good and love the film.
yeah, you know, like I grew up and I would draw monsters in my notebook during class and shit like that. And, you know, a lot of them were influenced by trauma. And like I did my own version of Toxic Avenger when I was a kid, like fifth grade, and I saw it on USA Up All Night. And I was like drawing like his Toxic Avenger friends. And but I know you're not into the whole trauma thing, so we can pass over that. But you know, like my love of like good monsters,
I
like
mean,
I just
I would argue that Toxic Avenger is a pretty iconic
yeah.
creature
I
design.
mean
I don't
everything
know.
from the tutu that's burnt with radioactive waste and everything else, but you know, I mean I love those movies. They're so much fun for me. And but like, you know, and then like you would do the American Werewolf versus Lon Chaney, but Lon Chaney didn't have any of the technology available to American Werewolf, you know, but like his Wolfman is awesome. Henry Hall sucks, and I hate Werewolf of London more than most things. So it's like the Brussels sprouts of the Universal Monsters movies. But I mean, you know, it's like, and then you have, of course, the creature,
Oh yeah,
and
iconic.
you know, and just, and of course, Frankenstein. You know, I mean, everybody knows that image, even though the book, he doesn't look anything like that. But
You
Karloff
know,
was so awesome. You
that
know,
the original creature design, my God, man, it's so good. I mean, it worked so well. It looked so good. I mean, everything about that movie, it's almost a perfect film.
yeah.
I mean, I love it. I think it's the best out of all the
Talking about
Universal
Frankenstein?
ones. No, I'm talking about Creature
Creature.
from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, dude, that's on my list. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's incredible, man.
Oh, dude,
Interesting
that's on my
fact.
list. I can't believe you accept that because I was like, dude,
Yeah, of
it's in
course,
black
man.
and white. It's in black
Well,
and
hey,
white.
listen.
Chris
Well,
is
so
gonna
you
like.
guys, for anybody that's listening that doesn't know me, you guys know me. I look at horror through one film, and that's 1968's Night of the Living Dead. I think horror was on. I think horror got taken to a different level in 1968 with the release of Night of the Living Dead. I think everything before that. I mean, I look at it as good, but I don't look at it as the same thing after
Yeah.
Now,
Night of the Living Dead.
real quick, everyone watching this right now, these images to the right, do not be confused. This is not Monongi, the cryptid that lives in Monongahela. This is the creature from the Black Lagoon. Sorry,
So
continue.
good, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
Guillermo del Toro, he was trying to do the remake for this film for a long time, and Universal didn't want to give him the budget. So he was kind of like, well, F this. And then he took his idea and he rewrote some aspects of it and he turned it into Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Yeah, like The Shape of Water, man. Like I was so hyped to go see that because I was like, oh man,
It's weird.
it's so weird, dude. Like,
I mean, I'm proud to have worked on it because it won an Academy Award.
sure,
Right.
absolutely. I mean, and nobody can ever argue that the effects in this film
Everybody's
are-
talking about the creature sex scene when they talk about how weird it is.
But
Oh,
like, the
yeah.
whole movie is fucking weird. Like they got like that strange sex scene with what's his name and his wife,
Yeah.
Michael Shannon,
Yeah.
and it's just like, okay, all right.
I mean, I love Guillermo and I liked Shape of
like,
Water enough, but it's not like Pan's Labyrinth or anything
No.
like that. Like I
I
don't
thought it was going to be kind of
know.
like E.T., but with the creature, and that's not what it
Yeah.
was.
No, it was
It was like Basic
um
Instinct with the creature.
yeah,
Well, it made bestiology acceptable.
It did.
it did. Slippery slope.
Not in this house. It's not acceptable in this house. But yeah. Anyway, I mean, it was like, okay, it's kind of a return to this really classic monster, and it was just like, that's not what he did with it. He's really hit or miss for me, Del Toro. I'll be honest with you. I respect what he does for the genre, but honestly, I think his best work is like the stuff he does, like anything that's in subtitles, anything that he does like an American production. I tend to kind of shy away from. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you'll see him probably getting less and less budgets too, because his films just don't usually take off. But I
Yeah, they
think
don't
he
make any money.
excels. You're right, but he excels better anyways on the smaller budget independent films.
He
Yeah.
does. I mean,
When's the last time he
you
made
take
one of
like
those?
Devil's
It's been a
Backbone
while.
and
Yeah,
I would compare
Chronos.
and Chronos
Yeah.
and like and Pan's Labyrinth and like put those up against most people's three best films, and he's going to come out on top for most people, especially in genre filmmaking. But
Look at those pics, man. So good.
They really are.
so
I haven't
awesome.
seen some of these.
Like the original Creature from the Black Lagoon was like flawless, but it's almost like, how we always talk about how like Halloween, and with each interpretation the mask got worse and worse and
Right.
worse. I mean, to a lesser degree, like this is from Revenge of the Creature, and they gave him like these bug eyes.
Oh, you're
Like,
right.
it's just not as good. Like they did something to the kind of like, it kind of cheapened it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That would
well,
be-
they
that-
lose
that,
the
That
scales
would be
through
on
the
par with
movie.
that would be on par with the Halloween 4 mask, Adam.
Yeah, yeah. But like that original image is just, I mean, that holds up today. Like you could
Yeah.
make a movie today with this suit, and I don't think it would be cheesy. I think that's still like an iconic, awesome looking monster.
I know.
agree.
I mean, the
Matter of
only
fact-
thing you could. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, no, brother. Go ahead. I was just going to say real quick, if you gave that suit, the original suit, if you ran that today and gave it to like some badass legend like Steve Wang or like somebody else that's on that level of painting, they would turn that into something more modern and would have more depth. You would see more outlines. It would be amazing.
Well, it could do
Debbie
the
says,
movement
"Fuck that
better
mask,"
too
and I
with
agree.
CGI. And I think that's where CGI, back to where we started, really, really helps with like getting movements down on stationary masks. Like a fun design of monsters I love is the Invasion of the Astro Monsters. And, if they could like close their eyes, that would be awesome, or like be not as stiff. But like from a still image, I just fucking love those guys. You know?
Well, then there's iconic films from the 80s with great effects, but sometimes it's a little stiff or stagnant, and you're like, man, a little CGI addition to that would have really made that pop more, or look more realistic.
Yeah.
For sure. So before you jumped on, we just talked about the creature. Paul was talking about was it the Metaluna mutant?
Metaluna mutant.
Metaluna mutant. Who brought up creature, by the way? I was kind of
I think
doing stuff on the side here.
Again.
You did? Okay, all right. So Mr. Grossnickel.
Yes, sir.
What creature design would you like to bring to the table?
Well, God, there's so many, right? Are we going with like all-time greats? We going with personal faves?
It's however you want to do it. I'm doing.
I mean, with us three, that's probably interchangeable. I would say.
Yeah,
it's true. So I'll go with the films that inspired me and made me want to come out here and do what I do.
Okay.
I'll start with Aliens. I mean, yeah, my father takes me to the theater opening weekend.
Aliens.
I'll never forget. So Aliens opens on a Friday. I think it was spring or summer, and Siskel and Ebert, my dad watches the review on that Friday night, and the next day he's like, "We're going to see Aliens," and I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" I mean, obviously I didn't say that, but I thought it. And man, dude, we went, and it just blew me away. And my dad liked to stay for the credits sometimes for movies, even though he didn't know anybody that worked on them. And I remember seeing Stan Winston Studios, and that was the first time that I was like, man, I kind of want to do this, I think, and I want to work for that guy that made that movie. So to get to do that, man, is even more special because that was honestly one of the first films. I mean, The Thing, of course, we'll talk about later, but Aliens was probably the first film that I could identify and be self-aware of what I was witnessing, how good it was, and kind of where I wanted to go with my dreams.
that's awesome.
It's such a good fucking movie, man.
Do you like
it really
Alien design in Aliens the best out of the whole franchise, or do you like it like the xenomorph, the eggs? What do you do? I mean, I love the clear eggs in the original one.
Oh yeah, well, so here's a great story.
There's two different conversations to be had here too, because there's the alien design, just the general alien design, but there's also the alien queen, which is like one of the greatest creatures ever put to film.
Yeah, I mean, the alien queen is impressive.
So amazing, right? So the eggs in Alien are just, they're better. I don't think there should be an argument on that. As a matter of fact, I've talked to Shane Mahan, one of the guys that worked for Stan. He was in charge of some of the aspects of what they did for Aliens. He was over at Pinewood Studios during the whole shoot. He likes the original ones better as well, and he wanted to do that. But Stan wanted to go away from that and do something different. And they're just not as good. I mean, in the original, they're more organic, they're more translucent. They have that chicken skin on top when it opens up. It's more organic, it's more realistic when it opens. It's not as they're more mechanical looking when they open in Aliens. The whole movie of Aliens is just I think it's better than Alien, but there's aspects of Alien that are better than Aliens. And that's definitely one of them. I think the eggs are just realistic looking in the original, and they didn't do that for part 2.
All right, so here's the original. So here's the eggs in Alien that you're talking about, right? So these guys,
yeah, man, so good.
Or is that a bit better? Okay. And you're saying they're more transparent in the.
Oh yeah, you see the face hugger. Remember they put the flashlight up to the egg, you see it moving around inside.
Yeah, I mean, that was just such a, it
was almost like an amber jug. Remember when they put the flashlight?
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. I don't see an example here. Okay.
Yeah,
the eggs in Alien had more weight to them then. Like they had more.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what Stan's team did for Aliens, man, especially with the Queen. I mean, my God, man, I honestly don't even know if we've seen anything since then that I would put on that level. That's how badass that special effect is. And they did it in 1985. They
Yeah.
fucking filmed that in 85. It didn't come out till 86. And I still don't know if I can honestly say that, this or that is on the same level as that.
Right.
Yeah. Now the standard xenomorphs, do you like the Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, the dog one?
Somebody said that Alien 3 was the best design. I'm sure that was Ryan.
That's got to be Ryan.
And I don't know if I agree with that.
I actually love Alien 3, but I mean, they were using some video toaster shit back then. And, we talked earlier about how, effects, they really sometimes don't hold up, man. Those video toaster effects in Alien 3 don't hold up for shit. But it's a good film, man. It's bloody as all get out, man.
Yeah.
It's real fucking gory.
Yeah.
I also like Alien 3 a lot.
I absolutely
the director's cut. What do you think about that? With the dog getting oh no, it's not the dog, it's the ox in the director's cut.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wow.
So they went from an ox. Why go from an ox to a dog? I never really understood that.
I just think because people have more of an emotional attachment to a dog than they would an ox.
Well, what made the theatrical cut? It was a dog, right?
Yeah, it was a dog in the theatrical cut.
Like, I know people that will shut a movie off as soon as a dog dies, so I'm surprised that's the way they went. But then again, this guy doesn't care. He killed off all the major characters from the previous film. He pretty much just gave his
all the major supporting
characters. Held up his middle fingers to all the Aliens fans.
Yeah, man,
like,
but knowing
hey guys,
what we know,
all these beloved characters from the previous movie, fuck them. Instead, attach yourself to these prisoners that are a bunch of rapists and pedophiles. These are your new heroes.
Knowing what we know though about Fincher, I mean, I'm not surprised the way that movie goes down. That's totally Fincher.
Yeah.
Is it?
I mean, yeah. It's so dark. I mean, it's I mean, he lives in that world when he does his movies.
I know, and it's like industrial, and it's got that 9 Inch Nails music video type feel.
Yeah.
So,
but back to the design, I don't think the design is better than Aliens. I think the original design for Alien is actually the best.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes down from the ceiling and its first kill. I think Harry Dean Stanton, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, just the director's cut of that scene has a shitload more blood, and it's fucking great, man.
Let's see. They wanted the dog because they could show a live creature going through the birthing process. This is from Ryan. The ox puppet never worked right. So they also realized an ox alien wasn't as menacing as a dog alien.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Ryan will give you a PowerPoint about Alien 3.
It's good.
I guess,
it's just
like
great.
the ox alien, they could have like cow udders. Just kind of like, and that would take away from the horror. Right?
Yeah, and then, you also have to wonder if it tastes delicious. Like
what does
a
it taste
xenomorph that's met like with an ox would probably taste better than a xenomorph.
How many nipples does an alien have? How many nipples does a xenomorph have?
Yeah. And is it milk or acid?
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, it goes without saying that the design of the xenomorph is like, what is it? If it's not, it's top 5, right?
Oh yeah. I think so.
Yeah. I mean, it's so.
Is there anything you want to share, Chris, about, I know Shane is a pretty important person in your life, and I know he had a pretty good, he had a lot of influence on this design. Is there anything you'd like to share in regards to that?
He's talked to me about how they did the that whole set, the egg sack.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing was fucking full size, man. I mean, it was huge. And he's talked about just things that the aspects of the film and things they did on set. You know what I want to do, Adam? I swear to God, we've talked about this before, is, if I can just figure out how the hell we're going to do it, man, just book him for like a 2-hour sit down and just do a look back on Aliens, man, and get the rights from the Winston Foundation to show some of the behind the scenes shit. That'd be so incredible.
Yeah, dude. We talked about that for so long. We had no idea how to get any of this started.
And we were just like, fuck it, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
We're a little bit farther along.
I don't know as much obviously as he does. So, hopefully when we cross that bridge, man, we can get him in there and have 2 hours of just insanity, because he's got some really crazy fucking stories from that shoot.
I bet he does, dude. I'd love
1985 Pinewood Studios, man. I mean, that was the mecca of filmmaking, They just finished Return of the Jedi, and they go right into Aliens. I mean, my God, dude.
14 nipples sounds about right to me. But yeah, dude, like that would just be like absolutely amazing to like be able to talk to him about anything. But the movies that he's been involved with is just, you're talking about. I mean, not really hyperbole. He's a living legend.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, like, Terminator 1, Terminator 2, Predator 1, Predator 2, Aliens, Jurassic Park 1, 2, 3, Invaders from Mars, Interview with the Vampire. I mean, my God, I could go on for like another 5 minutes. That's just a little sample. Those guys are nuts, man.
And they're good. They're still going strong, right? They're still involved with.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
With the biz, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's the lead on the new Alien project we're working on.
Is he really? Okay.
Yeah. He's really stoked too. I mean, to be able to. This is the first project that those guys have worked on that's alien related since Aliens. So after Aliens, ADI kind of took over.
Yeah.
And we were able to get a decent portion of the effects for this new film. So it's super exciting, man. Everybody's really, really stoked to do something really cool.
One quick question, and if you can't answer, I totally get it. But from what I know from just like reading a bunch of articles, there's 2 Aliens things going on right now. There's a feature film in the works, and there's also a show. Which property are you involved in?
I'm working on the Fede Alvarez film.
Okay.
I don't know much about the show.
That's awesome.
But Fede Alvarez, man, he's a badass, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've got a chance to meet him and see him in the shop, and man, he's real excited, man. To see him talking to Shane about what they want to see, what they want to do, things that we're going to be doing. It's fucking cool, man.
I bet, dude. That's incredible. That's so cool. And you're working on this shit.
I know, dude. I can't fucking wait to talk to you guys about shit, man, after the movie comes out.
Crazy. Yeah. I mean, you worked on that ET commercial, and I remember you were showing us photos of like behind the scenes stuff. You like working with like the ET puppet and shit. And
that's crazy, man. You go back to my 1982 self, and be like, hey, you're gonna work on an ET puppet when you're older. I would have been like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not horror, but I would consider ET in this discussion.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a iconic special effect that we were able to make better than the original. Yeah. And they were saying that on set too, like what we did, that puppet we did for that commercial, just obviously it's because the technology is so much more advanced than it was in 1981 when they filmed it, but it was just so much better than what they had done back then.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'm not taking anything away from the original, but from a technical standpoint, there's obviously issues with that particular effect. But it's iconic. It worked at the time. Everybody fell in love with it, and to this day, it's really highly regarded.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that commercial is so good that like you want it to be like a feature film. Because if I remember correctly, they have Elliot came back, the actor who played Elliot.
Yeah, I think what's his name? Rob? Is it Rob Thomas, or is it something Thomas?
I think that's the guy from Third Eye Blind.
No, Rob Thomas is Matchbox 20.
Oh, Matchbox
okay.
20. I always get those two shitty bands confused. Hold on.
Shit.
His Henry Thomas.
Ah, damn it. First name wrong.
Henry
Yeah,
Thomas.
he was awesome, man. Oh,
He
do you know
was.
what's crazy? Hey, this is crazy, man. So he was already in Vancouver shooting that Netflix show, that ghost show that he was on.
Yeah,
I can't
Haunting a Hill House.
The Haunting of
Yes.
Hill House. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was already up there. We get up there to shoot the commercial, and he gets arrested for a DUI.
Oh,
Like
no.
first fucking night we're there, man. He gets arrested for a DUI, and they were like the producers of the commercial and the ad agency, they're fucking freaking out, man. They don't know what to do. There was like quick like thinking, like they wanted to they were trying to get Drew Barrymore to come and replace him. They didn't want to do the shoot with him because of the bad press.
Yeah.
And so they got in contact with Drew Barrymore's reps, and I don't know what, something happened and it fell through, and they were like, well, fuck it, we might as well just eat shit and go for it. And it worked. It was great. I don't think anybody really.
No, I don't even think that came out. Like public, like that. Nobody made us think about it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hush hush thing. I don't know why I'm talking about it then.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
But man, he was fucking awesome, man. He was like a real dude. He wasn't pretentious. He wasn't a dick. There's only a couple of actors I've met that are just super fucking cool, and he's definitely one of them. Him and Robert Downey, are just super awesome.
They should have just recast it, like kept his scenes and brought in a completely other actor, like the two Darrens and Bewitched. Like just suddenly this guy's playing the character from what is it, Hill House or something? Anyway, yeah, that's awesome though, dude.
So what do you got? We all went one. So who's going number two?
Adam.
I think Adam will.
Go for it.
All right, let me consult my little handy dandy. All right, where do I want to go with this? Okay, I'm gonna go old. Like this is pretty old school. But I don't think any of you guys will disagree with me.
Oh, nice.
I think the original Nosferatu design has yet to be topped as just a creepy, terrifying vampire. Like the Lost Boy vampires are pretty good. Fright Night, stuff like that. They really went with like the dead ghoul aesthetic with his design. Like he's so otherworldly.
Yeah.
And just like
it's still creepy. Like
it's so good that Shadow of the Vampire movie got made, and it made sense.
Yeah.
The whole concept of that movie is that the Max, was it Max Starks?
Max Schreck, yeah.
Max Starks was the left tackle for the Steelers. Max Schreck was an actual vampire, and like it looks flawless, even to today.
Yeah.
Today's standards.
Dude, Shadow of the Vampire is fucking spectacular, man.
It is such a great movie.
Is.
And Willem Dafoe was perfect casting as Shrek.
Oh, and they won Best Makeup for that movie. I don't know if you guys remember that at the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Did they?
Oh yeah, they fucking deserved it too. I mean, it didn't have that pale ghost look like the original. I mean, the original works the best, obviously, because of the time it was made. Silent film.
Yeah, I watched it on Halloween or for Halloween, like a year or two ago, and like the grainy black and white that we'll never see again. It really it adds to the charm of the movie and to the eerie factor and how scary it is. Like, me and Paul have talked about this on our podcast back in the day, and it's just like if you have a Halloween party, all you got to do is play this in the background, and like, you know,
It's perfect because it
you
doesn't.
don't have to turn the volume down because it's silent, you
Yeah.
know, and it just let it play, and it just creates that like really spooky atmosphere. It's just really, really, really great design, great movie.
What do you guys think of the '77 version, the Klaus Kinski one?
This guy,
The Werner Herzog.
Yeah, yeah.
dude, it's been a while since I saw it, so I can't really.
I love Herzog.
I love Herzog in general, but I don't really remember a lot about this.
I mean,
It's different.
it's
It's not as
different.
good.
Like
Good.
don't they give Nosferatu more characters? They like he has a lot more dialogue. I want to say, and they try to make him a lot more sympathetic, don't they?
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
emits more emotion in this.
Yeah.
Kind of give him more of a human
Kinski,
element.
Yeah, there's going to be emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's why. I mean, in the original, there's no emotion there. I mean, you think you're looking at a fucking vampire,
Yeah,
you know?
there's it's not
Yeah.
it's something that's not it's completely not human.
Yeah.
It's completely not human. It doesn't even attempt to connect with human beings except as a like facade to
I
like
mean,
get
a
what it
lot of those
wants.
silent films, though, had great creatures in them. I mean, and great makeup design. I mean, you have the Somnambulist in Calgary. Also looks great. They did a
That's
really
big.
good job remaking the look for the Rob Zombie music video for Living Dead Girl. And one of my favorites is the devil in Haxan Witchcraft Throughout the Ages. I mean, that just, that whole black mass sequence is terrifying. I put it on my mixtape from hell where I did anthology horror for my Halloween party one year, and I just picked anthology segments and made a mixtape out of it, like old school style. And I started with like the opening credits for it that I put together. I used Hacks and Witchcraft Throughout the Ages because it's so creepy.
That's a good choice, man.
Do you know anything about the last voyage of the Demeter, Chris? Do you know anything about that movie? All right.
No, I don't.
That's been on my radar for like years and years and years. There's that chapter in the book that deals with them taking Dracula from Transylvania to England.
Yeah.
And the Demeter is the vessel, and
Right.
it's just about him basically slaughtering like everyone on board, basically, like during the voyage, when they're actually making a film that's just about that portion of the book. Like it's been on my radar for like forever, and the actor that they cast, I can't remember his name, but he's almost like a Doug Jones type of guy. He's known for his work, kind of like in like
Bodysuits.
bodysuits and stuff. And he's very tall. He's like almost 7 foot tall. So I'm really curious about like what this movie's gonna look like. So anyway, I
That
was just
sounds
wondering
great.
yeah, dude. It's like Alien on a boat. Like they don't because there's no in that part of the book like there's no like Count Dracula walking around in a cape, trying to be charming. That portion of the book is just he comes out at night, he slaughters you, and then he goes back to hiding. So like
It's
that's going to be like
Javier Botet.
that's the name of the
Yeah.
actor. We'll just
And
look this
he
up
is best known
quickly.
for playing the Slender Man. He was in the Wreck movies. But Yeah, it's supposed to come out this year.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm just curious if you had heard
It's
anything
from the
about that.
guy who did the Scary
But all
Stories
right, so that,
movie and Autopsy of Jane
yeah,
Doe.
which I really enjoyed.
Oh,
The scary
shit.
stories, which you love.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul loves the Autopsies movie. And I really love
Yeah.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I think it's a really awesome Halloween movie. What did you think about that one, Chris? Did you see that?
I loved it, man. I
Yeah,
watched it
so
with
did
my
I.
kids for the first time this past
Dude,
Halloween, and it shocked me how good it was.
yeah, I mean, it seems like
Yeah.
just like it seems like it came straight from the 80s. Honestly, like a 80s Halloween special or something. I really
And there's
enjoyed it.
real life consequences in that movie. I mean, some of those kids don't come back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's like Willy Wonka, like what we like the original that we were raised on, where the kids don't come back.
yeah,
Yeah, but in the new one, he says, he says they're fine or something, doesn't he? He tells them
Yeah.
where to find them.
yeah. That's jive.
Yeah. Like no, like Willy Wonka is like Saw for kids, like
Yeah.
the one that we grew up with.
Yeah. I think you're up, Paul.
All right, so I am going to go recent because I started old school, and I am going to do the Gabriel from Malignant as a design that I absolutely loved. The creature, like the tumor creature. Spoiler alert, I guess. But I that thing creeped me the fuck out, and it has an awesome Terminator 1 blow like take over a cop thing.
Is it this thing?
Yeah. And I had a ton of fun with it. It was just, it was one of the most entertaining movies I'd seen in a while. And I had pretty much given up on James Wan for a while. And that movie just brought me right back in. So
Is it that good? I've only got like a quarter of the way into it, and I haven't been able to finish it yet. Not by choice. I just really haven't had the time.
it's fantastic.
I know that's
it's
Ryan that
so
made
much
the comment
fun.
just with the chef's kiss.
I mean, it goes
Ryan
full
liked
Terminator
it.
1, and it's just awesome.
Is it better
What
than
is
Smile?
he? I haven't seen it. What
Yeah,
is he?
100 million times better than Smile.
What is he?
Huh?
What is he?
Yeah, what is it?
I haven't seen it.
It's
I haven't seen it.
conjoined twin tumor.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And it's kind of like Basket Case, and is the obvious connection, like the obvious comparison.
Kind of reminds me of the "Thanks for the Ride" lady guy from Creepshow
Yeah.
2.
Oh, yeah.
When he's finally like,
oh my
destroyed.
gosh, like I loved Malignant. I was just like, it's totally caught me off guard on how awesome and fun a movie could be again.
People are saying we're spoiling the movie. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Now that I said that, no matter what we say, we can't be held accountable.
How do you guys feel about it? If a movie's been out for over a year, is it spoiling at that point?
I don't know. Like, there are people that in our group that what movie was I talking about? It was Dead and Buried, I think.
Yeah.
And people were saying, and that might have been you, Paul. Somebody said I was spoiling the movie, and I was like, I don't know, dude. Like, it's been out for like 30 years.
Yeah.
but I get it that to some extent, especially for some like movies that aren't on everybody's radar. It can be spoiler-y if it's something that is kind of like on the cusp of being well known, but isn't really in everybody's everyday rotation. But something that you might watch one day. You know what I mean? It's like I have so many movies like that.
I don't think the movie
every day I'm like, I'm
spoiled,
gonna
like,
watch it, and I just don't.
that.
Like, I'd still be mad if it got spoiled.
Yeah, I don't think it gets. I don't think it spoils the movie if you know going in. I mean, everybody when it came out, a lot of people were talking about it in Basket Case and how similar they are.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love Basket Case, but it's just
Abby Schneider's pretty cool. Spoiler alert, in case you guys didn't know. But yeah, I haven't seen this movie, so I'm gonna have to check it out.
I'll finish it, Paul. I'll finish it, and then I'll let you know what I think about it.
yeah.
I can't even remember the last James Wan movie that I've watched was probably one of the
Conjurings.
yeah, probably one of those.
Yeah,
Did he do? He did like
he did the Aquaman. Didn't James Wan direct
Yeah,
Aquaman?
he did do Aquaman. He did
Yeah.
do Aquaman. He must be
Yeah.
pissed that they're basically getting rid of what's his name came in and cleared house.
Dude, if I get a chance to work on a Lobo makeup though, then I don't give a shit. That's all I want to do.
Oh, because
He's
Jason
gonna be Lobo.
Momoa is going to be he's leaving Aquaman to be Lobo, which is like
so I don't know
that's
shit
perfect
about what's going
casting.
to happen, but Shane and all the guys at Legacy, they're super tight with James Gunn. We
Yeah,
work
so
on
with James
all
Gunn,
this
yeah,
shit.
Yeah,
So
okay.
God damn it, man. I'm hoping, hope that that the rumor's true that he plays Lobo and I get to work on that fucking makeup.
How cool would that be, dude?
Holy shit, man.
Well, he is a way better pick for Lobo than he was for Aquaman. I
Oh,
mean,
for
let's
sure.
just be honest there. He was like, when they announced he was going to be Aquaman, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Because, like,
Abby thinks that she heard that fell through. I don't think so, Abby. I think that's still. I mean, a lot of what he's going to do with the DC universe is like I think up in the air, except what he's doing with Superman. But I'm pretty sure Aquaman is done.
I just hope they make Superman
and Wonder Woman is done.
heroic again.
Like the Snyderverse is done.
You have to. It's a failed experiment.
I didn't like the Snyderverse at all. And when he got involved with Batman versus Superman, I was just like, you got to be freaking kidding me.
Yeah, I heard that too. At one point, they wanted him to be the Crow, which like completely defeats the purpose of the Crow.
Yeah.
Like now we got Bill Skarsgård,
like a 6'4" muscle guy being the Crow. That defeats that's not who the Crow is.
No, you need like somebody like that Nicholas Hoult.
Like an actor that was up for Conan the Barbarian, which he was, that horrible remake, should not be the Crow.
Right.
You know?
Bill Skarsgård is, though. He's the new Crow.
Dude, that's great casting.
Yeah.
It is, but isn't it weird that we're seeing kind of like a similar makeup with the eyes because he's playing a clown face again?
Yeah, it kind of is.
It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like you don't know if you want to run to him for help or run away to get him.
Is he going to do that splitting of his eyes where they go outwards? He can really do that. That's like a little thing he can do with his eyeballs.
It's almost. Can he really?
Yeah, that wasn't a digital thing. He can look forward and then his eyes can go in the opposite direction.
I can do that too if I drink too much. But I'm not even joking. Like my one eye will go that way. But anyway, but it's kind of cool because it's kind of like they're Terminator 2. It, like now it's it as a good guy because it's Skarsgård and the clown makeup and everything.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, like his casting in Barbarian. Did you see that? Oh yeah,
yeah, it's great.
You love it.
I liked it. Yeah.
Well,
that was Eric.
It was so. Because everybody knew that it was Skarsgård. Everyone knew it was, supposed to be Pennywise. So, immediately this guy's under your microscope. Like, okay, what's this guy gonna do? Now this guy's creepy. Don't. And like it turned out, it was just spoiler alert.
Oh Jesus!
It was such a red herring because he like had nothing to do with it. But I thought that was kind of I thought that was kind of clever. Like just
What's great
his
about that
casting.
film is the tension they build in some of those scenes, man, and it's real good, man.
Yeah, I really
Yep.
enjoyed it way more than I did Smile.
Well, we don't have to get into that.
You guys are crazy. That movie's so good.
I got
All right.
I got an actually decent AP alcohol volume beer going on right now, so there might
Oh,
be
nice.
lights tonight.
Yeah.
6.3.
I'm drinking my usual
5.4.
Golden Monkey, and I'm already hopped up on like cold and flu medicine, so this will be interesting.
No
Yeah.
Iron City, huh?
Nah, dude, I've never
No.
been an Iron City guy. Like, it's not good beer. It's just not. It's not good beer.
I used to like
never-
the aluminum bottles.
Hey, I've only seen Icy Light on tap in one city and one city only, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, people love the mango now. The icy light mango.
Oh, they got a mango?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I don't know. I just
because when you think of Pittsburgh, you think of tropical fruit.
I'm confident
Like,
in
that
my
doesn't make any
masculinity
sense.
in most ways,
Mango.
but like I feel like it would all be shot if I drank one icy light mango.
Well, they're doing a cross promotion now with Icy Light and Turner's Iced Tea. Did you see that?
Oh,
So like Turner, like the other like synonymous with Pittsburgh thing is
This icy
Turner's
light.
Iced Tea. So like there's those like Twisted Tea thing. Apparently they're doing some kind of collaboration. So I have that heartburn to look forward to in my future. So all right, Chris, I think you're up, man.
oh yeah. I mean, one of us is going to say it eventually, so I'll just throw it out there. Obviously, The Thing. I mean, Rob Bottin, 21 years old, or maybe he wasn't even. Maybe he started that when he was 20. I can't remember.
You mean
Something.
the thing from the other world, the giant carrot guy, right?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, which by the way, I mean, that movie definitely doesn't suck. I think the original Thing is a lot of fucking fun.
Oh, it's really good.
So fun
It's
to
a lot
watch,
of fun,
man.
but it's totally different from the thing.
From the book, right? The book is more like John's movie.
And John's movie.
Yep.
When you think of the thing, when you think of the thing, like the actual monster in
a
this,
remake, but a different adaptation similar to Dracula's.
well, it's definitely a remake. I mean, John Carpenter made it. He has the thing from another world on the television in Halloween. So he's already
I'm not
saying
saying he doesn't love it, but he made a totally different version.
I mean, he didn't make it a giant carrot guy.
Did he though? I mean, look at the black and white when they dig up the footage from the Norwegian camp. I mean, that's all set up, with the original's footage.
At no point does someone's head turn into a spider monster in the original thing.
Yeah, but
They're
there's shit that the
always
Blob does in the Blob
carrot
remake that's different from the original Blob, but it's still a remake.
There's just too many like similarities. Like they take place in an Arctic climate. It's a cast of characters made up of military men and scientists. They bring an alien invader from the ice to their camp
that acts like a virus as opposed to a singular character.
Well, that's why it's a remake. They he didn't tell he didn't just tell he didn't tell the story all over.
For our viewers at home, is The Thing a remake or a different adaptation similar to Dracula? The different Draculas throughout the years.
See, like I would say, if we were talking about, say, the Horror Express and The Thing, because they're both based on the same source material.
Yeah,
I would say that those are different adaptations. But The Thing from Another World and The Thing 1982, I think that there are too many direct comparisons to just say a different adaptation.
Direct
I call it
comparison
it's
being
a
the name.
remake. It's a remake in my estimation.
I mean,
Alright.
it's got to be, right?
Since me and Chris agree, we win 2-1. So,
But like I was saying, it's set up very much like the Blob remake. I mean, it takes aspects of the original and just fucking hits home runs left and right with new ideas and
well,
new wrinkles.
how about? I mean, and I'll just get my. We won't talk about it yet, but I'll just get my pick out of the way next because I'm going to make a point here. The Fly
Oh
remake.
yeah,
Like it's still a remake, but it's completely like it's how he turns into the Fly, DNA versus having just the head and the dick of a fly, or what is it? The head and the arm of a fly.
yeah.
Um, you know, uh, it's a remake because it's not the exact movie. It's not Psycho where they told the exact movie over again. There are changes being made, but it's a remake. But that doesn't mean that it's
Like, I don't think. I think the changes are like where I go
Name-
for is that you don't know who the thing is in John Carpenter's version. And that totally changes the tone of the movie, the tension, everything else. I mean, I love
Yeah.
the Howard Hawks version. I mean, I grew up watching AMC on Friday nights because I had no friends when I was little. And I would watch the AMC, horror like monster shows every week. And, from the time I was on to the time I was later. And, it wasn't until high school that people realized that I was awesome. I didn't change. I just,
Think of the greatest remakes, the movies that are constantly thought of as the greatest remakes. Let's throw out
Body Snatcher
Body
78.
Snatchers, right? The Fly, The Blob,
The Thing.
The Thing,
Yeah.
The Fly, and all of these properties, they made enough changes. Like for example, The Blob. It's not an alien.
But do you consider the Coppola version a remake?
Let me finish before you. The Blob in the original movie is an alien organism. In the remake, he's actually a government weapon.
Yeah.
There are changes made in all these films. That kind of, and I think
But at the end
having
of the
something
day,
be a
it's
menace
people
from
versus the
space
Blob.
or something made by the government, that changes the tone of the movie. Yet
Okay.
it's still a remake.
All right. I will accept your definition of remake if you admit that the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula is a remake of 31.
Why the 31? Why not the 79?
79, all of them.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is.
Those are a little tougher.
Is it?
The
I don't know.
Frankenstein movies and the Dracula movies, those are a little tougher.
I mean, they all have like very similar threads. I mean, I think the biggest difference in the 79 Frank Langella and the 92.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple. I mean, the main thing would be the advancement of special effects. I mean, Greg Canham hit a home fucking run with all the shit he did for the 92 version. But then, the some of the characters' names are changed back to, I think, the way they are in the original book.
Yeah.
I love both those versions tremendously. I'd probably say the 79 and the 92 are my favorite versions of that story.
Which was the 72? That was
Frank Langella.
Frank Langella.
79,
Yeah.
Frank. Yeah.
Okay.
I
His
think
hair was amazing in that movie. That's all I really remember about it.
Oh, dude, it's so
he had like a Vince
favorite.
McMahon paupiere or whatever it's called.
It's fucking beautiful. I love it. It just
what about
works.
the Jack Palance Dracula, Dan Curtis? No.
That's such a bad movie, isn't it? Like Jack Palance's Dracula is awesome. Like the concept is, but I think I watched it on Paulflix and I wasn't very impressed.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your favorite Dracula movie before we move on?
I'd say 79.
Over
Just
Bram
because,
Stoker's?
yeah, and I'm only saying that because I grew up on the 79. I mean, I was in high school when I saw the 92 one in the theater, and I fucking love it. Don't get me wrong. But man, there's just something about I'll give you two scenes. In the catacombs with Van Helsing and his daughter,
Yeah.
when her eyes are glowing and she's saying "Papa," that's fucking horrifying. It's horrifying. She's got that. She's actually has a very similar like Nosferatu like look and feel in that scene. She's
Yeah.
very pale and
I-
like just old time feeling and looking. She's like the earth, like old dirt, and just she's fucking evil, man.
Yeah.
I think the 79 did the best job of balancing monster and eroticism. In terms of, like having a hot Dracula who's attractive and everything else. That being said, my favorite is Horror of Dracula. I just watching that with Peter Cushing, it's just I fucking love that movie. It's so good.
Which one is that, Paul? In the order of the films he did
It's
for
the
Hammer, which
very
Dracula is that?
first Christopher
Very
Lee
first one.
That's the first one. Okay.
They get a little bit weirder on them. I mean,
I love the continuation in those.
yeah.
Yeah, that was always the best. I always really enjoyed that when I was a kid watching those Dracula movies. Always, because they always had really creative ways of bringing Dracula back.
Yeah.
But they also had really dumb ways of killing him.
Yeah, they did. And but I mean, like the original Peter Cushing jumping on the table.
That's iconic. I mean, he's basically
it's so awesome.
Indiana Jones, or like,
yeah,
like.
And I mean, I would just say, that I always used to say, like, when I think of Dracula, I think of Bela Lugosi, and when I want to watch Dracula, I watch Christopher Lee.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
I love Gary Oldman's Bela Lugosi line in the 92 version though. That's fucking amazing.
I mean,
which wasn't in the script, by the way.
I like the Coppola one, but I mean, it has some really bad casting issues in there. I like Langella's a lot, but I mean, it's just from like me growing up and watching Horror of Dracula with.
I think I found a way to like evade the video thing, but over here on the right is the GIF.
Yeah, I like this, Adam.
The
it's
awesome
nice
scene, dude. Yeah, where he just.
Yeah, like that.
Actually, the part where
it's so fucking good,
And the best part, and it's not even on there, it's when he opens the curtains, but it's not.
Yeah,
I can't find a.
That's fucking great.
But
I was gonna make sure like one of my Pornhub tabs doesn't show up on here as I'm trying to look for a GIF. All right.
So we got into Dracula,
but anyway,
I think we were talking about The Thing.
Yeah. We were talking about The Thing. I apologize. I just said that if you think that
he threw the is it a remake monkey wrench in there? He wanted to blow it up.
Right.
And then it got into his
I'm
Dracula
gonna die on
adaptation
the
or a
totally
remake
adaptation of the same novel. I will die on that hill. You guys can.
What a lonely hill to die on.
Below of being.
I'm gonna send you a care package to live on that hill because there's no food or friendship there.
There is no food or friendship, but I'm stubborn as hell. So.
Has there ever been a movie to bomb as bad as The Thing and then find a life afterwards and become so iconic and like so? I mean, it's revered by everyone. Even people outside of the genre know that movie, or at least know about it.
We're back to
in horror, yeah.
We're back to the thing.
Yeah, we're back to the thing.
I mean, the only other movie I could think of to bomb as bad as it did and come back as like a true cult classic would be like The Big Lebowski. Now everybody loves that movie.
Tremors.
Tremors was pretty
somebody just said
popular and well received. I mean,
It was mildly successful, I think.
yeah. I mean, it was a really good movie. I remember when Adam tried to do his poll of what's the best 1990 movie, and then somebody in our group did the same exact thing. And then I did what's the best horror movie of 1990, and I just listed Tremors 5 times.
I don't know, man. I mean, not to get off on another tangent, but that's Tremors is going up against the Night of the Living Dead remake, and I think I would have to pick the Night of the Living Dead remake over the Tremors.
I agree.
Oh
And I really like Tremors, but like
I love Tremors. Tremors is so much fun.
It is such a great crowd pleasing movie. It's one of
know.
those movies that you can put on with a group of anybody, like family members.
I agree.
And it's like The Fugitive, you know, where everybody's just going to have a good time and enjoy
it's
it.
like the Thanksgiving horror movie. You can put it on during Thanksgiving. Nobody will get personally offended.
Yeah.
Or like too much gore.
It doesn't go
much
very
sex.
far, you know, in terms of things. And I mean, you know, it'll shut up like the rednecks because Reba McEntire's in it. And then, you know, like it'll shut up you know, like the urban elite because Kevin Bacon's in it and he's awesome, you know, and you know, it's a great movie for everyone to shut the fuck up and enjoy. And you know,
it's
love
just a
it.
good old fashioned monster movie, which like
and it's a ton
anymore.
of fun. It is.
I think Fred Ward's the star of that movie. I think Fred Ward shines in that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Fred Ward. Absolutely.
Yeah, it sucks he's gone, man.
It really does.
Yeah, I mean, they listen to the scientist in that movie, so you know, like those people are happy, you know.
Yeah.
And really good effects done by ADI. ADI did a really good job.
I don't really like the sequels to that first one though.
Oh, the sequels are garbage.
I've tried to get into them. Now like Trevor's in our group and he's like the biggest Tremors guy I know. So Trevor, if you're watching this, I apologize. But like I can't get into those movies. And I think they start flying.
Yeah.
And we totally went into another segue, so I apologize.
Oh no. Well, to piggyback on the Tremors thing, so they brought Kevin Bacon back, I want to say about 6 or 7 years ago. And what happened was they were going to reboot Tremors, the whole franchise, and they were going to do a limited TV series run. And so what happened was they came to us and we did this miniature Tremor. It was like this crazy maggot looking Tremor. It was different from any Tremor you'd ever seen before and had like these little like maggot hooks on it. It was really creepy looking. And they shot the pilot and they couldn't get the pilot picked up.
That's unfortunate.
So they tried.
I would love to see that pilot.
I would too, man. I would love to see it. Hopefully we will someday. Kevin Bacon's in it. He came back. He plays the same character and everything.
Did he really? Kevin Bacon. They got him with wow.
Yep. He was one of the producers. And they couldn't get the show picked up.
I don't like Rotten Tomatoes kind of like as a principle, but I agree with this little tagline here. 30 years later, Tremors is still a perfect monster movie and it keeps getting better. I totally agree with that statement.
Yeah.
It's good, man. Good effects, good acting, good score.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, like the scene where they're pole vaulting to rocks. It's such a great scene.
Yeah, that's a great scene. Yeah. It really is.
Pulling it. Take your shoes off.
And then it turned into this shit.
Yeah. Like that's where it loses me. But like as a one and done movie, that would have been great. You know,
or they turn into Super Mario Brothers creatures.
It's so bad.
Yeah. It's almost like the Langoliers or something. Like just
Yeah.
I don't know. Like nobody wants that. Who wants that? What fan of Tremors wants this? This little weird
Yeah, and I
hippopotamus,
mean, I love
little
like
weird hippopotamus thing. Like who wants that? Like nobody wants that.
I love like the original poster art because I'm seeing that on there where it was like clearly like influenced by Jaws poster art, and
Oh, that original poster is totally a takeoff of Jaws.
yeah, and it's just a fun movie.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's a great movie. All right.
Adam, what's your number 3?
What is my number 3? Let's see. Let's go to the list here. Tremors was actually on my list. Oh, that's funny that
Really?
yeah. I think I'll pull this up.
There we are.
A Brundlefly, freaking Brundlefly, dude.
Christopher Wallace, right?
Yeah, I believe yes.
Yeah.
But it's not just. Oh, I had a question about the thing I wanted to ask you guys. Well, I'll throw that out towards the end of this if you don't.
Sure.
Because it kind of relates to this. But anyway, because it's not just like the end result of Brundlefly. Oh, this is actually perfect. Look at this. It's got except it's extremely tiny. That's what she said.
I've never heard
Anyway.
that.
I've only been with one girl. I'm just kidding. Anyway, here's the Brundlefly. But like it's not just like the final interpretation or his final form. Like all of the look at
That's
that.
great. Yeah.
Look at that makeup work.
I have to say, this is like one of the few movies that grosses me the fuck out. And
yeah, I know you're not like, and I know you're not like the biggest fan of this, and I know this.
It's a great movie, but
you're super quiet whenever you watch
me
it.
the fuck out.
It's gross. It is gross.
His fly hairs on his body are fucking gross.
Yeah, like
how about even like
even
when he merges with the pod,
makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
I recently just rewatched it again, and I was eating some McDonald's, and I didn't eat the rest of it, and
Fly 2. Here's the thing. Just quick segue.
Oh,
I think that's a pretty good monster movie.
Yeah, when that dog dies in The Fly 2, that freaked me the fuck out as a kid, man.
That's the thing. That's why everyone tunes out on that movie, because that dog scene. That dog scene is tough to swallow.
Yeah.
And people are with dogs. They would protect their dog over their own kids.
Yeah, I think both those scenes from The Thing and then The Fly 2, man, both those scenes with the dogs freaked me out as a kid.
Yeah, and like I think when that scene hit, like people just tuned out. And but it's nowhere near as nuanced as the first movie. Obviously, it's just a straight up monster movie. But I thought it was a nice little. Yeah.
Yeah, when he's like the full fly version,
sure.
and it's just a giant fly.
And it's kind of also like the fly. Here's an interesting question. The final version of the Fly in the 80 whatever it was, the first film, like
86.
could he have actually inflicted any damage on anyone? He seemed like he was in close contact with Gina Davis, but he seemed like such a pitiful, pathetic creature. Like, did he even have any mutant strength or anything like that? I think.
Well, he had the mutant strength in the arm wrestling scene, which was
but by this point, he was so broken down, like molecularly, like his body was at war with itself. Like I don't even know. Like I think, and I've read things on like Reddit and shit where they're like, he would have probably died within days or weeks. Like it wasn't. He was like, it was like, a being that was not supposed to exist.
Right.
And then then you look at the Fly 2 version, and it's he's basically the predator.
Yeah.
Like he's going after the bad guys at the end and ripping them apart, and it's very different.
Oh, yeah, and then you have the hero ending when he
Did
rips through
Cronenberg
the
do
skin.
the second one?
No. He might have been a producer on it, but I don't think. Let me see here. Directed
The Fly
by
2
Chris
loses
Wallace.
credibility. It loses
Frank
credibility.
Darabont was involved in the screenplay. That's interesting.
Oh, he
Frank
wrote the
Darabont.
screenplay? Oh,
He was one of 4 people, along with Mick Garris. What do I know him from?
From
Mick
every
Garris.
single Stephen King movie ever
Mick
made.
Garris was on there too. And this is the movie that infamously Eric Stoltz walked. Well, I guess he didn't. I guess he was replaced, but like, he was supposed to be Marty in Back to the Future, and
There was no chemistry, they said.
yeah, and then I don't know if they fired him or he stepped away to make this movie. I can't remember what the actual story is, but
They fired him, and then this got started up, I think, a year after that.
Who'd they get to replace him? I haven't seen The Fly 2 in like maybe 30 years.
Well, you remember the end, right? I mean, that's the part that the movie loses all credibility to me, because Eric Stoltz rips through the Fly body, and it's Eric Stoltz as a human, that character as a human again. So it has this happy ending that just doesn't fucking make sense to me.
Yeah. No, I agree. 100%. I've never felt like an urge to go back to it, but maybe I will. I keep eyeing at my Walmart has the Fly collection with all of the old ones and all of the new ones on Blu-ray for $30. And I'm just like,
he is a robot. I'm not going to change your mind. You know what? He's good. He's good as Rocky in Mask with Sharon.
He's also good as Lance in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. And he's good as the stoner in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
He's good. Certain things.
So I had this argument with my wife the other day, speaking of Eric Stoltz and Back to the Future. There's a trailer for Back to the Future 4. Is that real, or is that like fan made? Because I thought it was
fan. Huh? It's fan.
Yeah, Richard Donner had said while he's alive that movie will never be remade.
Yeah,
it's Richard Donner, right?
Robert Zemeckis.
Oh, okay. Well, him then. But anyway, yeah, he said that that movie will never be remade while he's alive.
See, I thought they were doing something because like there's a new DeLorean coming out, and they just turned it into a movie trailer that was fake. But I mean, you guys might know better than me. Are they doing another Back to the Future?
I don't think they are. I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, as far as I know, no.
Thank God.
I mean, that'll just be. I mean, with a lot of these movies,
you can't remake that movie in this today's climate.
There's certain movies.
It's so like I tried watching it with Liv, and there were a lot of scenes where I got really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like they're friends with the rapist.
Dude, I mean, the whole decade of the '80s is politically incorrectness. It's like I love Revenge of the Nerds, and I can't watch Revenge of the Nerds around my kids.
Who was the rapist? Biff.
Biff, yeah, like Biff totally tries to rape Lorraine.
Yeah, who's friends with her though? Who's friends with
him?
But
they're like at the end, he's like their like neighborhood handyman. He's like their wacky neighbor next door.
Well,
You
I
know,
mean,
like after all that, I'm like, really?
yeah, that's true.
Years of counseling got her over that.
Yeah, that's true. I guess.
I mean, she's not even drunk like she is in part 2, where she's married to him, which is even more fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Now you guys are a big proponents of 2, but like I think it misses Crispin Glover so bad. Like Crispin Glover, you know how like Jaws 2 is essentially the retelling of Jaws except only Brody. Like you're missing Quint, you're missing Hooper, and like I feel that way about like there's some awesome set pieces in Back to the Future 2. Don't get me wrong, but I think it really misses Crispin Glover's character in that movie. I think he's the heart and soul of the. I mean, he's kind of the heart and soul of the first film,
yeah.
and like you're just kind of
Because like Marty
missing.
learns to respect his dad and
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
but I guess
I think two. I think two is a more fun watch for me. But I obviously think part one is a better made film, and I think a goat.
see, I like those heartstring moments. Like
Yeah.
I like them. I like
See,
getting
I
drunk
like
and,
2
and
better just
emotional when I
because I
watch a
like
film.
the
So like
whole
you
time
know,
travel consequence thing a lot more in 2
yeah,
than I do in 1. And so, like, as kind of a science nerd amateur, like 2 just like fires all my cylinders on like, you know, like, like intellectually stimulates me a lot more. And so I like that.
right.
But I will concede that 1 is a better made movie. But 2 is so out of the world. Like, there's so many heavy concepts in there that, it's just. I read this great book on astrophysics called Hyperspace, and there's an entire chapter devoted to Back to the Future 2. And it's by like an astrophysicist, and it like totally blew my mind of like how that movie opened up so many ideas on quantum theory to actual scientists.
Will you go get the book and start reading it to us?
Yeah.
Do you still have it?
I think I do somewhere.
Well, you're up,
Adam,
man.
you're up, man.
No, I think I just went with Brundlefly, so Paul's up.
Okay.
Oh, I'm up. Okay, so what do I want to go for? Creature design. I am gonna go the Jason from part 6 is one of my favorites.
Wow.
I love
I did not.
like
I
the graveyard
anticipate
scene in
Jason
the
Voorhees.
beginning.
No, I love you. Nice.
Yeah. I have to bring up Friday the 13th, Jason Lives, because it's my daughter's favorite horror movie. So, although she might like Scream more now. I don't know.
One of my best friends, Christopher Swift, that was one of the first films that he headed up aspects of the special makeup effects on. I think they shot it down in Georgia, and he was only 20 or 21 at the time. And his eye, in the movie, when you watch the film, when they have the close up of Jason's eye with the maggots and then the eye opens, that's Chris Swift's eye. They couldn't get anybody to do the scene because maggots were going to be on their face. Yeah. So right before they said action, that's totally Chris's eye too. I mean, I've known him for 20 plus years. What happens is they throw the maggots on his face, and they started getting in his mouth. They started crawling in his mouth. So they shot it real quick, and then he freaked out and vomited all over the place with the mask.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Like, I don't know. I think that like in the Nightmare series and in the Friday the 13th series, like There's a part where they acknowledge that these characters are iconic. And for me, it's the opening of Friday the 13th, Part 6 for Jason. Just like in Part 3, Dream Warriors, the Welcome to Primetime Bitch scene.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
gets my group in like Facebook community standards violations trouble all the time. Because we always get a notice saying someone quotes "Welcome to Primetime, Bitch," and they're like it's harassment and bullying or something like that. I'm like, it's a line in the fucking movie. but yeah, I love like the whole Jason becoming a universal monster at this point.
Yeah, he's just Frankenstein now.
Part of Six's lore.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is this like is the reason you included this because like you think this is like the best
It's the best looking
interpretation?
Jason we've ever seen. And
Is this the most iconic version for you?
I think so. I think so.
I think that's hard to argue with.
I mean, unless you're gonna go like when they take the bag off in part 2.
Yeah, because like I know as much as Chris loves Friday Part 2, and I totally get it.
Love it.
But you got to admit that the hockey mask stuff is what.
Oh, no doubt.
You know what I mean? Like that's
yeah.
what people gravitate to mostly when they go to this franchise, and even farther. And I'll take it a step farther. Like to me, like for example, I don't even like when I was a kid, I didn't even want to watch the ones where he was alive and wore the hockey mask. Like I wanted it to be like he was undead, zombie, gross looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like I think about it, and I think like that opening scene where you see Jason in his grave, and Tommy Jarvis fucks everything up, and it was such an image that stuck in my head when I was a kid because like I said, I watched a lot of the Universal monster movies and all that, and then him coming to life in that scene in the beginning of Friday the 13th. It was just my favorite sequence in the whole series is the opening scenes of Friday the 13th Part 6. And I mean, it's got such a Halloween vibe, the holiday, not the movies, that just it blows my mind. It's one of my favorite zombie designs. It's scary, but it's like familiar scary. And then he gets the mask, and like I would have been totally cool if they let that rotting face be in the movie and he didn't have the mask, or he had the mask and he lost it like during the final act, because it looked so good.
Great mask.
Great mask, great. Like the design of him without the mask is so good. He looked like a corpse that's been rotting for years, and or what you would imagine a corpse that has been rotting for years to look like. But I just kind of wanted to bring it up because it doesn't get the credit that it deserves. And like when you're doing like Jason, and like that's like the creature portion of the series, and it never followed that again. Like like you never saw that like disgusting rotting face in any of the sequels that followed it.
Right.
I love the Mountain Man look from Part 2. I love the realism of I kind of look at 1 and 2 as one film. I think they could be their own separate story from the rest of the franchise. And that's the direction they're going to go with this rebooting of the character. I think they're going to go with the whole mom little Jason Voorhees aspect.
That'll
Yeah,
be an
I'm
interesting
curious
show.
about it.
Yeah. But it's A24, right?
Yeah,
Like A24 and Jason.
yeah. That's
Like
why I think it could be something.
it could, or it could be the worst thing that we've
Oh
ever
yeah,
seen.
yeah. I fucking hate Midsummer. I hate it. I hate it so fucking bad. And I love Hereditary. And
Do
I
you?
know that I know in the group I know there's a lot of people that talk shit about Hereditary, but
I like
I'll
them
put
both.
my fucking grave saying that's
I'll
a
be
great
honest with
movie.
you. I'll be honest with you. I like them both. I like Ari Aster. I like his style. But like, there is a lot of movies under that A24 flag that are not easy to watch, and like,
Very
and
true.
not even because they're disturbing. Some of them are just they're just so long winded
Too pretentious.
and pretentious. Yeah. So like, do we really want like a
Oh,
pretentious?
that I was just talking about it on the group the other day. Like somebody was talking about that. It Comes at Night. Oh God,
Oh.
I hated that fucking movie.
Yeah, I
It's
did
so
too.
depressing.
I fell asleep next to you in the theater.
Oh my God, and you just woke up for like the depressing shit.
I mean, we did do like 2 or 3 hours car bombs prior to going into that movie.
Yeah, like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. A24 is gonna do.
Yeah, it's post-apocalyptic and like it's going to be this thing, and it was just like, Did
Oh,
you
There
see
wasn't
that,
any
Chris?
of that.
Did you see that?
I have not seen that.
It's terrible. It's really
It's
bad.
really bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's depressing with no joy, no point to survival whatsoever. And I'm like, and
I already know that's Ryan. I don't even have to look.
That's funny.
but I mean, I don't know. Like, recent years, do you guys feel like creatures are going to come back? I mean, oh, that was the one I was going to bring up now. I totally blanked and I pulled Jason 6. But whatever. We'll go another round.
Yeah, come back to it.
Well, you know what's really weird about modern creatures? I feel like we're seeing offshoots of the same design. Like if you were to take the creature from Barbarian and the creature from Smile and the creature from
It
It
follows.
Chapter 2, I think you take those three creatures and they're all kind of living in the same design world. Very weird to me.
Yeah, there's really a lack of creativity in some of those.
I don't necessarily think it's a lack of creativity. I mean, I mentioned earlier because you worked on Antlers. I thought the design in that was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how the movie. I don't know, man. I've seen part of the movie. I haven't seen the whole thing. I haven't seen the end.
But the design is fantastic.
I find that fascinating, by the way. Like you'll work on a movie and sometimes you don't even watch it, or like you'll watch part of it.
Yeah, it's fucking slow, man. It's hard to watch that movie.
Yeah, like I wasn't crazy about but like your creature design was fantastic on that.
Hey man, I worked on Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and you couldn't pay me $1,000 to sit through the entire viewing of that piece of shit. Fuck that movie.
That's like my pick for worst sequel of all time.
Dude, I was so deflated. So deflated.
Well, you should have seen me in the theater with my wife. I was uncomfortable the entire viewing. I didn't want to stay to see my name in the credits. I was so fucking over it. I was mad. I was just it was shocking to have the amount of high quality people at every level of filmmaking work on that film, and for the final fucking result to be that. You got to think about that. Every level, the cinematographer, the music, the director, the producers, the actors, the people doing the effects, every fucking level of that movie had the fucking best of the best, and that was the result. Holy shit.
Yep. That's kind of like the dream team, like like in basketball when they had like Jordan and Barkley and Ewing and all these guys were on the same team.
Yeah, so, imagine them shitting their pants and losing one of those games.
Losing in the first round.
Yeah, that was King of the Crystal Skull. Yeah. We were the dream team and we lost in like round 3.
Well, Adam and I went to go see it with my wife, and we had like an entire day planned out. We were going to go see a new Indiana
It's
Jones
Indiana
movie,
Jones. I was
and we were
stoked.
going to go hang out and all that. After it was over, we all fucking went home.
Yeah, we didn't even hang out. It was done. That ended the day.
It did. You
I mean,
know,
it's a monumental piece of shit. I mean, there's
Yeah.
very few films that have that kind of budget that I would put in front of it. Probably one being The Last Jedi, but I mean, just trash, man. Just trash.
yeah.
Who's up?
I think it's
You
me.
are, Chris. Yeah.
Woo! All right. All right. So I feel this is modern horror. I'm going to bring up a modern horror film. I feel the creature design in
Interesting. Okay.
The Descent. The Descent.
Oh,
I
the
feel the-
Wendigos.
Yeah, dude.
Those
The
were
creature
awesome.
design in The Descent.
That
Those
was-
underground cave dwelling motherfuckers are so well done and so scary. And the makeups were good, and the explanation just worked for me. Maybe it wasn't enough time for them to evolve into that monstrosity, but still, you know, they give you about 100 years to kind of go with, you know, that these things evolved over 100 years.
Yeah, it worked. It worked for me.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I mean, my daughter just saw the trailer for that because when we watch movies on Paulflix, it plays a trailer beforehand to another movie. And so, like, coming attractions. And she watched the trailer for that and she goes, "Oh my God, that looks terrifying."
It
Yeah.
is.
You know?
Dude, like, you know, it's not that like I sleep on this movie, but I just forget about it sometimes. And like, I would go as so far as to say, like, I don't know if there's been a better movie, a better horror movie made in the 2000s.
Yeah.
I would only say
Like,
one,
what
Adam.
would
I think you're right. I think it's a two-man race between this and 30 Days a Night.
Okay. All right.
Which, by
I
the
would-
way,
But I
man,
mean-
if we're talking effects, 30 Days a Night, holy fucking shit, we're talking about real badass special makeup effects with a combination of digital, and the final result is just something that I think we hadn't seen in a vampire film before.
Yeah, the vampires look pretty BA in that movie. I'll give it that for sure. Because they gave him with the whole like shark aesthetic.
Oh yeah,
like
and then they
rows.
CGI'd the eyes, they split them out further.
Yeah, and the like the rows of teeth, like and they're like pinpoints, and like the eyes that are just like black, just like, you know, like a great white shark would be. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're pretty awesome.
I think both these films, you know, very special makeup effect dominated
Oh.
films, and they're fucking great, man. I mean, I think they're the best examples of 2000s horror.
Yeah, these guys are
Yeah.
pretty. Oh, what'd I do?
No, those
These guys are
vampires were
pretty great.
terrifying in that movie, and it's such a good movie. I usually like try to watch it on like a really cold, snowy, miserable day to get like really into it. I like to do this and The Thing for the bleak
Got plenty
factor.
to pick from around here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just badass fucking makeup effects, man. Do you guys think there's any other film that's come out the past 20, 23 years that you could throw maybe in a category of 3 or 5 that you'd be like, okay, this is a handful of films. If I'm recommending a top 3 or top 5 of the 2000s, it's this.
I recently rewatched this again because I loved it so much when it came out. But 28 Days Later is so good.
Oh, I agree. You're right. It's definitely
And-
right there with them.
And that I wouldn't necessarily put it above The Descent, but
like, yeah, it's been a while since I saw that. And like the beginning
it's
middle are
so good. It's
fantastic.
so compelling.
It's kind of like a lot of Danny Boyle though. It kind of falls apart at the end. Like you know, and I don't know, like the soldiers are trying to
I don't
get
know.
the
That
woman
scene where
and,
the dad gets it in the eye. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
man.
And he's like telling his daughter to stay away.
Yeah.
all
Oh,
that.
it's so good, Paul. It's so good, that fucking scene, man.
Oh my god, that scene. Oh
And that scene takes on a different meaning when you finally have a child of your own.
yeah,
It's definitely more emotional. It's a hell of a fucking scene.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good call on that one, man. That's a really good one. You know, another one I'd put in a category. I don't think this will be as agreeable, maybe not with you guys, but other people in the group. And I've been saying this since I saw it in the theater, and I'm saying this because the film is such a. When I see a film and a film just has that moxie, that transcendent ability to cross over, not just in the horror genre, but to go into other genres and pull in more fans. I'm gonna say It Chapter 1.
I liked It Chapter 1 a lot, and I think, it was smart for them to divide it up into 2 parts because the second half of it, be it book, be it whatever,
Sucks.
sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's better in it. Chapter 1 is miles and away, and this is gonna piss off a lot of people, but it's miles and away better than the miniseries.
It blows the miniseries out of the water.
Now I know
Yeah.
everybody has love for the Tim Curry Pennywise.
It's that
I
nostalgic
do
shit,
too.
man. Me too.
I
I
do
do.
too.
But
But
look at
like,
the
But
crowd,
if
man.
you take Tim Curry out of
if you
it,
take his performance out, it's a flaccid dick of a shit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah. And I grew up in the 90s, and that was like a made-for-TV movie, and all of my friends watched it, and we were like, "What the fuck is this?"
right.
Like, it was just like, and like, I would go on for, up until It Chapter 1 came out, nobody talked about it. Like, you wouldn't see Pennywise included on any horror montage or whatever, thing. And if anything, It Chapter 1 made the miniseries like, way more revered than it ever was when it came out because most people that were like horror buffs, thought it was a shitty made for TV movie. And I still feel
exactly what it
that
was.
way about it.
Yep. Me too.
You
And I love
know,
Tim Curry, man. He's great as Pennywise.
he
But Bill
is.
Skarsgård, he was given more to do, obviously, because it was rated R and it's a film, not a television miniseries. So maybe if Tim Curry would have been given that opportunity to go further with the character, we might have gotten something different, which might have made that version better. But because Bill was given so much more to do, it just fundamentally makes
But
that
the kids
character
are
above
better.
and beyond better.
The kids are way better
Yeah.
actors, like actors, performances, like the stuff with like the losers is way better in It Chapter 1 than it is in the miniseries. Like they did that Amplin touch with the kids and it had that more of a Goonies vibe went with the kids together, trying to solve the problem of, the killer clown in the sewers.
So good, man.
Yeah.
Everything about that movie is good. It doesn't have weakness, I feel, which is completely the opposite for It Chapter 2. And I know you guys know how I feel about this as well, but It Chapter 2 is hands down a top 5 worst sequel to an all-time great of all fucking time. It is a monumental piece of fucking trash.
It's so bad. And on top of that, but I don't know how much I blame it because the book, like the second part of it, and it's just such a slog to get through, you know.
2 is fucking bad, man. Have you guys noticed like all the things that they tried to borrow from like 80s horror for It Chapter 2? It's almost like they forced it in certain aspects, and because it's forced, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It doesn't feel natural at all.
And I don't think that the adult versions of the kids had the same chemistry that the kids had as kids. You know?
It's so easy to like get chemistry as a kid. It's a lot
Yeah.
harder as an adult. Because as an adult, you're so set in your ways, and you're just naturally you're drawn to certain people that think like you, have your same. And when you're a kid, you're such a
The
blank
world's
slate, so
new.
it's so much easier, and like
Yeah.
it was really apparent with the adult cast.
Yeah.
It was just a bunch of movie stars shoved in a room together.
Yeah.
Whereas the kids felt pretty like organic, like their how they reacted to each other and went with each other.
Yeah.
Well,
Guys, go ahead.
good, good.
Well,
What
I was gonna say
you have to
I'm
pick
gonna
it up?
I'm gonna move. I'm gonna keep my face on screen, but I'm gonna move a little bit.
All
Oh, we just turned
right.
into the Darren Aronofsky portion of the
It's the
of
found footage segment. We'll go Blair Witch next.
Blair Witch is your
Oh, don't
favorite
you
character to
dare!
die.
Now, check this out. So I'm up, I think, right, Chris? You just went.
Yeah, you're up. You're up,
Right.
Adam.
So I had a totally different movie in mind, and I'll bring it up later. But so we just brought up Tim Curry, right?
Oh yeah.
And the wheels started turning, and so I'm gonna bring this dude up for one of the best creature effects I've ever seen in a film.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now that's Rob Bottin.
Oh man, so he's made it on the list a couple times.
Yeah, I mean that dude.
I mean,
What can you say? You've met it. You know him, right, Chris? Or you met
You know
him,
what?
or-
He is one of the only guys I have not worked for and have not met, and
You haven't.
he's kind of pseudo retired now. I got several friends that worked with him. A unique guy. I know you guys have seen all the interviews he did for the behind the scenes stuff for The Thing.
Yeah.
He is like that, and even like a little more out there in real life, from what I've been told.
Yeah.
But man, you cannot ever take anything away from the footprint that man has left on the industry, man.
Absolutely.
oh
not.
my god, yeah.
I mean, just like
Look at that.
how big? Like Tim Curry, he might have been a tall guy.
No, he's short.
Is he short?
Tim Curry's short, yeah.
We go but they just make this darkness look like such a imposing absolute beast of a monster,
Yeah.
And Tim Curry and anything else you see him in is a really like kind of meek looking guy, well, except it, I guess.
Right.
But like he's just and okay, and somebody's gonna come after me and say, well, you haven't seen
Worst witch.
no, what's that movie everyone dresses up and throws shit at the screen?
Oh, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, what about him? Well, I don't give a shit about that. I hate that movie. Anyway, but Darkness, dude, he's just like such an imposing like character,
Yeah.
and like the facial, like you can still like look at the mastery at work here, like because you can still see Tim Curry's facial features.
Adam,
Yeah.
is there a way you can pull up the shot where he's in the black light, where he looks dark with the glowing eyes and teeth?
I will see if I can.
That's my favorite shot in the whole movie. That shot, and then when he's about ready to lose his grip and fall back into the universe. That black lit shot where
That's a shot right in the beginning. I know
yeah,
exactly
it's in
what shot
it's
you're
more in the
talking about.
beginning, yeah.
I don't see it.
I mean, and not only his darkness, but like Meg Mucklebones of that.
Oh, so good, man. So good.
Dude, Meg Mucklebones is like the
Yep.
coolest. That's the scariest thing in the movie.
It's incredible. Incredible.
The scariest thing in the movie. Look at that.
Yeah,
Look
dude.
at that.
That's amazing.
Look at
I mean, I would compare.
that. Well, we don't see anything like that in movies today.
No.
No.
You couldn't
That's
tell me that
Richard
there's a human
Ricardo.
being in there. Yeah,
Right.
Robert Perk. Yeah. You couldn't tell me that that's a human being in that makeup. I mean, it looks like some fucking crazy out of this world witch.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's probably my number 2. My favorite witch is probably Haggis in Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I
That's
mean,
actually who I was going to bring up for. I was going to. My choice was going to be Pumpkinhead, but then we were talking, and I was like, okay, let's bring
yeah.
up Legend, because like the creature effects in this movie are outstanding.
Oh, they are. And I mean, that movie's brutal as hell for
What
kids
about
to
It's
those?
watch.
like,
What about that one scene when they're behind the door and those fucking things with the white fur come up from the ground and start attacking them, and they sound like cougars?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, man. Like this is like when they say dark fantasy, people were like, "That's dark fantasy." No, this is dark fantasy. Like
Yeah.
this is as teetering on the horror line as you can get. I want to say when like between fantasy and horror, you know. Um, Beastmaster kind of crosses that plan a few
Oh
times.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Could do you think we could ever get a sequel to this? Because
Dude, I
we
would.
talked about films that get an audience after they bomb. This movie bombed, and then it
Yes.
got its audience after the
Yep.
fact.
Yep. 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 And also, I'll say this once: Tangerine Dream score
Preach.
or get the fuck out.
Oh, preach, man.
Yeah.
What they did for this and what they did for Dune. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot they did Dune. That's a great soundtrack.
Oh yeah, man.
I mean, was it
Fucking awesome.
Jerry Goldsmith? I think did the alternate soundtrack to this. And it's okay, but it's very typical. Like you could
You know,
throw
it's
that.
funny you brought this up because we watched the trailer for the new Dungeons and Dragons movie today. We were watching movie trailers this morning over breakfast, and like nothing in it, and no offense because my friend Rob worked on it, but nothing in the new Dungeons and Dragons movies looks half as good as anything in fucking Legend.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree, and I worked on the motherfucking movie. I don't think any stuff we did looks as good as Legend either.
Yeah. Oh, you
I
worked
think
on
our
it
stuff
too.
looks good,
That's
but
cool.
it's just it's generic fantasy.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't think anything in the realm of fantasy looks better than fucking Legend. You
Yeah, I
know?
agree, man.
So Ryan's saying Tangerine Dream was only in the theatrical cut. He's also saying that backlight shot is only in the theatrical cut.
That's right, because correct me if I'm wrong, there's 2 or 3 versions. There's the theatrical cut, a European version, and then a director's cut. So
Yeah.
I think it's 3.
That's so weird because every version I've ever seen had the Tangerine Dream.
The European version does not. The European version is exclusively the Jerry Goldsmith score only.
It's such
And
a
it's
different
weird.
movie.
It doesn't work, Adam. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work. It doesn't work. It
Yeah.
loses so much magic.
Yeah.
It really does.
That's like the director's cut of The Outsiders, where Francis Ford Coppola lost the rockabilly score, and they replaced it with some generic movie score.
People took their kids to see this.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. People took their kids to see that. Like,
now I gotta watch Legend. Fuck.
I could see a movie just based around Meg Mucklebones.
yeah. Dude. Well, like the end of the movie, they kind of suggest that darkness isn't vanquished forever, and then we just never like Ridley Scott's all about like pounding like these new variations of Alien down our throats. Well, I guess not anymore.
Do you really
like,
want Ridley
some other
Scott?
director?
No.
Doing another Legend. I'd rather him do this than like. I mean, why not? Rather than say like Gladiator 2, which keeps getting rumored is going to be made soon.
Oh, it's not a rumor anymore. They're doing it.
Yeah, dude. Like, wouldn't you rather see Legend 2?
Yeah.
I am, but I'm here, not there. Yeah, they're doing it, man. I think if Tom Cruise got involved, I think you could absolutely do some sort of sequel, not a remake, but a sequel to this film.
Yeah.
That would be cool as hell.
Oh
But
my
you
God,
can't give it
Mia
to Richard.
Sarah in that black dress. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mia
yeah.
Sarah. Mia
Oh,
Sarah. in
my
this film
God.
was like, yeah.
It was the first girl I fell in love with as a kid.
I
Look
know.
at this. Look at this.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
amazing.
it's so scary, dude. All right. Anyway, so that was Legend.
Ridley Scott couldn't do it though because I mean I got one movie, Alien,
Yeah,
Alien Resurrection, or it was what's it called?
that's a good point.
It's Alien something. It's
Covenant.
awful. Covenant,
got-
right?
If we got Willow 30 years later, there's hope for Legend. I agree with that. Although
I heard that there
Willow
were
was a
rumors.
George Lucas property, right?
Yeah.
So, Lucasfilm already had the rights to that, and we're going to do something with, they're going to do something with Indiana Jones. They're going to do something with Willow. The only thing they're not going to do something with is, what is it, THX 1138. We won't see
Or
that
Red
ever again.
Tails, or what's
Or a
the
sequel to the
movie
Black
that had
Cauldron.
Black Cauldron. Yeah, that's awesome.
a Legend Black Cauldron crossover would be awesome.
Yeah, that would work.
Black Cauldron, I think for a long time, up until recently, was one of the only Disney films to bomb.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It was their redheaded stepchild. They didn't want it to be known. They buried that movie for so long.
Oh, I know. And that was my favorite when I was a kid.
That and Sword in the Stone.
The Black Hawk, yes, and the Sword of Stone. Yep. Sword of
God, I
Stone.
love that. So good, man.
So good.
Why can't Disney do a live action of that, Adam?
Dude, those early Disney movies, early for me, Disney movies were so good. Well, yeah, there's that. All right, Paul, you're up, man.
All right. So I was going to do this earlier when we were talking about The Fly and talking about gross characters and all that. And I kind of want to do Michael Rooker's character in Slither.
Nice. Good call, man. You are hitting me with some shit I was not expecting. Todd Masters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Rooker's character in Slither and like the little worm guys. I mean, we're talking about like gross shit and characters that gross me out. He was like number one in that. But like his gradual decay and all that. I mean, I love Slither. It's so much fun. And it's one of my favorite horror movies of the 2000s.
It's fucking fun. James Gunn wrote the screenplay.
He did, and he
directed it. Yeah.
It was like his first non-trauma movie.
What was the trauma films he did, Paul?
Toxic Avenger 4. And
Did you write the part for it?
Yeah, he did Toxie 4, and he did Tromeo and Juliet, and he did he kind of wrote Terra Firma, but part of that was crowdsourced. But after that, then he wrote The Specials, which nobody saw and is awesome. It's a fantastic movie that I quote all the time. And it's basically about superheroes on a day off and the petty infighting that they do. And it's hilarious. And, it's just an extremely quotable movie.
Almost sounds like a precursor to Suicide Squad.
It does, yeah. In fact, I was kind of, hoping that, like Suicide Squad would have more of that feel, but they have like confessionals in there. And like one of the characters have sex and they say, "Did you guys have sex?" And they're like, "Donuts for everybody." And my family says donuts for everyone all the time when we're talking about somebody having sex. So, but anyways, yeah, back to Slither. It's such a good creature feature. It's so much fun. It's so gross. And I fucking love it. I mean, what Michael Rooker turns into is insane. So, you have any opinions about this movie?
Well, Todd Masters had a great fucking crew for this. I know a whole bunch of them. I've worked with them several times. They're all real fucking good at what they do, and I love the effects on this film. I think it's a fuckload of fun, man. It's got moments I'm just kind of like, that don't work for me, but overall, I mean, I'll watch this movie. It's really rewatchable. I'll watch it all the time.
Yeah.
This was James Gunn, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like a very gross version of Night of the Creeps, which is
Yeah.
a movie that I love.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, I mean, we're talking creature designs, and I gotta go Michael Rooker in this. I mean, I love this movie. It's so much fun.
It's got some real gross fucking scenes, man.
Yeah. Oh my god! Like just like
Stan
rotting
Winston School of
meat.
Character Arts.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, but yeah.
Yeah, this
I don't know.
This about sums it up.
So, Adam, what's your next one?
What is it? Aren't you up?
Oh, am I up?
We're going in a rotation. Yeah, you're up.
Okay. I am going to go with The Howling.
Okay.
The Eddie Quest.
So this is the big debate, right? Like, who has the better transformation sequence? The David scene in the living room or Eddie Quisk? And I've always, said Eddie's just because I think there's more of a horrific, scary, dark aspect to his transformation. And obviously, I think that scene being shot in the dark just works better than the David transformation being shot in basically broad daylight with all the lights on. Rick Baker wasn't wrong. I think that I just think fundamentally that scene would work better if they just would have shot it a bit differently.
This is Bottin in The Howling and Baker in American Werewolf, correct?
Correct. And then the story, right? Like Baker taught Bottin the change your head effect and how to do it properly, and Bottin leaves Baker to head up The Howling, and they get The Howling out before American Werewolf in London comes out. So, back in the day, originally they were giving the credit to Rob, but then it got corrected, and Rick is kind of the creator of that gag and how it works. But Bottin did it real fucking well.
Yeah.
I also always think this shot here is like the most
so good, man.
It's eerie shot.
One thing I would have loved, and I don't know if they could have even pulled it off, but like the Eddie Quist character is so good in The Howling, and I love The Howling. I have it as 1, and American Werewolf is 2.
As great as the werewolf looks, I almost like how he looks mid transformation the most.
Yeah, it's just creepy, right?
Yeah.
But like I would have
you can just see look at the glee in his eyes.
Yeah, it's like a weird fucking grin, but look at his eyes, man.
He's so happy that this is happening.
And that's one thing that I think would have made The Howling better, is if you had a scene where Eddie Quist goes back to being a human and he's devastated. That like he's not his true self anymore.
It's over. Yeah, almost like a drug addict coming down from a high or something.
Yeah. And I just like, they ever remade The Howling, I would have that scene where
number one, I would not be opposed to a remake of this.
I wouldn't.
Look, there's like 13 sequels and they all suck.
Yeah. They're all fucking trash.
I would love to see a remake of The Howling. I mean, it's just, there's so many scenes in it that I just love, like the scene in the cabin where what's her face is getting killed. Oh my god, I love that scene.
That's so good.
Yeah. And
when he picks her up and he's just holding her with the one arm.
Oh yeah. that scene, just like I saw that as a kid scrolling through channels, and I was instantly hooked.
The two-legged aspect too, and the way they walked, just fucking works, man.
Yeah,
You know, they kind of fuck up with that weird like cell animation thing where they show when they're having sex, the two werewolves,
yeah,
and they kind of cell animation turn them into like real like four-legged wolves. That never made any sense to me.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the Chow Chow makeup at the end on D. Wallace
The
Stone.
Chewbacca.
Yeah, dude.
It's fucking terrible, man. It's like,
The wear Shih Tzu.
yeah, it's
Shit.
honestly like it's fucking trash. But
Yeah.
that movie, 95% of it works really well, and those makeups and the Eddie Quist transformation are
This
just
actor, what the hell is his name again? He's the voice of Chucky, isn't he? What's his name?
no. That's not Brad Dourif. That's
It's not
that
Brad Dourif.
character right there. No, that character was the sister, the brother to the sister. That crazy.
Farrell Torpetti. Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
forgot about him.
yeah. Yep. But he does look like Brad Dourif right there.
Yeah.
But Richard, who's the main?
Ricardo?
Who's Eddie Quist?
Richard
Oh
Picardo,
yeah, it's
right?
Richard Picardo, the
Yeah.
same guy who was Meg Mucklebones.
Yep.
That's crazy. We're playing like
What a
70
great character actor. What a great character actor.
Yeah, man.
Look at that, man. He looks so creepy right there, man.
Yeah, he does. He does.
And the only thing he's got right there is contacts. There's no, and I think he's got a couple of sharp teeth prosthetics on his fangs. But other than that, that's just him right there.
Yeah.
Oh, with that bullet.
I have some things to say about the comparison in contrast with this and American Werewolf. I don't know if I want to save that for if I actually, because I actually have American Werewolf on my list.
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, all right. Well, I mean, we might as well just talk about it now.
Oh, do it, man. Yeah.
So, I'm going to say this. So I totally agree with what you're saying. Like the transformation scenes, they couldn't be more different, really, when you think about it. You know, not only just how they're shot, like this is shrouded in darkness. American Werewolf in London, it's like you said, in broad daylight. In this one, there's more of a creepy, scary aspect because it's, you know, it's a menacing transformation. Like he's turning himself to murder someone. Like it's a conscious act. And that's, you know, I totally, you know, that's terrifying. What kind of gets me with the American Werewolf in London transformation, I guess I'll bring it up here. All right, I didn't mean to take over or whatever.
No, please. And my opinion takes nothing away from American Werewolf in London. I just feel it's a butt hair beneath. That transformation is a butt hair beneath Eddie's transformation.
There's just this level of body horror going on here with this transformation,
and you feel for David. You know, I mean, it's a totally different character.
Yeah.
Good point, Paul. Good point. I never really thought about that. There's a sympathy factor that adds to this scene that you just don't get with Eddie's transformation.
It's very much.
That's why I think like the reverse transformation would be like the David scene in, you know, like a reverse transformation, like turning back into a human. And you know, like they've never done that in a werewolf movie, you know, and except for like the Lon Chaney ones where he
did it in Silver Bullet.
Kind of, huh? It's like a quick flash, like
it's a quick flash, like, oh, we're back to human again.
I mean, they show the hair go. I don't know. I think it's pretty effective. But anyway, like the body horror stuff in this. I mean, this is the Seth Brundle of werewolf transformations.
Yeah.
You know, like I could see, you know, like I could see Cronenberg taking on this movie just to do this scene.
Yeah.
And it's creepy and scary, but in a different way. Like you're not. No one ever thought of like the agony of what it could if you're actually conscious and you're like in a split second your body is just morphing. Nobody ever contemplated like what that could actually feel like. And like it's like, okay, here's what it feels like. It's actually fucking agonizing, you
And
know?
hats
Especially.
off to David Naughton for selling it so
Oh
good.
yeah, totally, man.
Yeah. What a performance.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean,
And Adam, you're right. Like, this is another difference between the two scenes. David is actively fighting against it, which is making it even more painful. Eddie embraces it and accepts it and wants it, which just makes it okay.
that's why it's
Yeah.
such a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Because you have one and they're, you know, and I'll say this is like one of this is probably, if not it's in the short list of one of the favorite horror movies for me. I just connect with this movie on so many levels. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, the writing, the characters, the effects. I love werewolf movies, whatever. But when me and Paul sat down and watched The Howling, even I recognized. I even like when we did our podcast. I even said, why is this transformation scene not talked in the same breath as American Werewolf? Because American Werewolf with Lennon, I don't know how many horror groups you belong in on Facebook, but I'm in a few. Like it gets brought up again and again and again and again, and I agree with it. Almost never really. I mean, you always get The Howling brought up as a top tier werewolf movie, but nobody ever talks about that transformation scene in the same light. And I think that's an egregious error. I think it's if they're on par with each other, and depending on my mood, there are times where I put the Howling transformation above it, just because there's more to it.
Yeah.
First of all, there was more shot in like a single take. Not as many cuts. Like there's a lot of just the camera's fixed on him and shit is happening. Not
Yeah.
a bunch of cuts and this, that, and the other thing. So it's very close. It's very close.
Is there a werewolf transformation that's even in the same ballpark as these two in any other film?
No.
No, not
How
at all.
sad is that?
They
We're
stopped.
talking about a major subgenre in the horror genre, and it's such a pathetic subgenre that they can't even get their shit together to get something as close to something that came out in 1981.
They came out. Oh yeah, when did Howling come out?
I think 81. I think
81.
yeah,
And this
Same year.
and American Werewolf came out when?
81. I think they're both 81, right?
the same year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I always forget that. These two and Wolfen.
Yeah.
Wolfen came out all the same year.
Yeah.
It's almost like after 81, people stopped caring about werewolves. Like, did those movies stop making money? Or
You just
nobody
need
went to see it?
you need a competent director and a good budget, man. I mean, that's why you don't see werewolf movies that much anymore, because it takes probably a shitload of money
I
to
mean,
make
nobody ever like a CGI werewolf sucks.
Oh, it sucks.
You know, like I will take like people bitch sometimes about American Werewolf because they never actually see the actual werewolf. Well, obviously they were limited in what they could do. Like as great as that movie is, they were on a limited budget. They
Yeah,
threw
you only
it
see the full body a
all.
couple times.
Yeah, they threw it all at that transformation scene, and everything then it's just the mold, the sculpt, whatever you want to call it, just in a few limited action scenes, and it always cuts very quickly.
Yeah, like 75% of the time, it's the half puppet,
Right?
or it's just the two front arms with the shoulders and the head attachment with the barrel chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I'll still take that shit over, American Werewolf in Paris or underworld or any of this shit where like these werewolves look like cartoons. Like there has to
One
be
that
some.
was recent that was actually pretty good, and I'm trying to think of it. My friend worked on the show, but
Dog Soldiers was awesome. Have you seen that yet, Chris?
I haven't, man. I know you guys love it, but
I
I
gotta
haven't
get
seen
that.
it yet.
I gotta get that to you somehow.
Yeah, I want to check it
on
out.
Netflix.
And
Which
werewolf.
one?
There was a show on Netflix with a werewolf. I'm trying to remember what it was.
And of course, there's the Werewolf, the television series from the '80s, which is
Oh,
Yeah,
Great Cannon. That's where Great Cannon pioneered the body, the spandex bodysuit effect. So they made a muscle structure suit, and on top of that, put a nude spandex suit on top of muscles, and then they just hair vented into that, and then that's the suit that they wore in Werewolf, and then as well as Bram Stoker's Dracula.
yeah, Hemlock Grove. It's not as good as either American Werewolf.
there's the man right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was as good, or it wasn't nearly as good as Howling or that, but the werewolf transformation in Hemlock Grove was pretty awesome.
I would say this, and like another thing going for American Werewolf when you want to do the whole compare contrast with the Howling, then you got this guy.
Oh yeah, Jack.
Dude,
it's great.
The effects on this, the decomposing that happens throughout the film. Like, look at that neck.
Yeah, it's great. And didn't we come to the conclusion last time we talked about him that he was an entity? He's not a ghost. He's not a zombie. Or is he like a ghost? Or is he...
He's not there for malicious purposes.
Right.
We did say he was undead. We called him undead. What? And he even says that in the movie.
But he's not a zombie, though, right?
No, not a zombie.
Because other people can't see him.
He's the undead. Yeah, he's like the only person that can see him is Eric, I guess.
Yeah. So good, man.
But like
that's
another
such a
level
good
of
idea
effect right there
for a horror movie. Is like a killer who has to constantly be haunted by his victims,
like Maniac,
compulsively kills.
How about Maniac?
Oh yeah,
that's how he dies at the end.
Yeah. Hey, you know who Griffin Dunn's sister is, right? This actor that plays Jack.
Let me guess. Talia Shire?
Oh, you guys don't know. Holy shit.
I have no idea.
His sister is the oldest daughter from Poltergeist that was murdered by her boyfriend.
Oh,
that's
shit.
crazy.
That's his sister.
Oh, my God. That's his sister?
That's his sister.
Huh? Learn something
I'm
new.
sure I knew that at some point, but that I drank that bit of knowledge away.
Yep. That's his sister, and then they let that. Yeah, and then they let that son of a bitch out several years ago. Oh yeah.
And what's he doing now?
Last time I checked, their family and supporters are still contacting people around him to let them
that dude out.
I don't know.
We need to go. All right, let's go.
It's crazy.
I'm gonna come around, pick you guys up. We're gonna go get that guy.
But yeah, man. I mean, pinnacle of werewolf films. I don't think it's been touched. It's weird. I sure as hell wish somebody would do a modern take with a nice budget to do some badass werewolf effects. We've had just weird shit like Wolf, and Cursed and weird werewolf films like that.
Do you think that Rob Bottin did the church effects, the church scene effects for Silver Bullet, but those are the only, as far as I know, and as far as me and Paul, for whatever reason, those are the only effect shots he did in the entire movie. Were during this.
Yeah, it's weird, right? I know.
The church scene is the best werewolf effects in the entire film.
Yeah. I think it's a really great scene.
And I've always been of the opinion, if they had just let him do his thing throughout the entire film, this movie would be thought of so much higher.
I totally agree. You're 1,000% right.
Yeah, the teddy bear werewolf at the end.
No, but look at this dude. Look at this work right here.
Yeah.
Look at this. That's amazing.
Doesn't that have a?
That's Rob Bottin.
Yeah. Who's the guy in Gladiator that was in that werewolf movie for Hammer? The actor he died in Gladiator. The actor.
Oliver
Oh, it
Reed.
was the Curse of the Werewolf.
This pic right here looks like Oliver Reed's werewolf.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
He's great, by the way, in that movie. I thought Oliver Reed's really good in that movie.
Yeah, it's just a really weird werewolf.
I don't like the movie. It's really mean-spirited.
Yeah.
I just like Oliver Reed.
Yeah, I love Oliver Reed. I'll sit there and read Oliver Reed. I just love stories of old Hollywood and like the golden age of Hollywood. And you know, like just the stories of him and some of those guys, you know. Who was he? He was best friends with like Peter O'Toole. And, like those guys, they would go on shows and just talk hours about just like drinking escapades that the two went on. Like they told a story about like how it was Oliver Reed and Peter O'Toole, and they went to a pub, and it was like closing time, and they weren't ready to leave, so they just said, "All right, we're not leaving, so we're just gonna buy the pub." And they right then and there they bought the fucking pub. and they just so they could sit there and drink for the rest of the night. And then the next morning they were like, "What the fuck do we do?" And Oliver Reed was like, "I guess we got a pub now." Like that's fucking crazy, but that's like how awesome is that? That's like so cool.
That's great, man.
All right, who's up?
I think Paul's up.
I guess. I mean, Adam, did you want to go with something else, or did you want to have American Werewolf as your pick?
Who just went? Chris, and he said The Howling?
Chris did The Howling, and then you went into American Werewolf, so...
I think I mean, American Werewolf was on my list, and I feel like that was good enough for a turn. I have enough on my list for another go-around, so... But I guess it just like I mean we're at 2 hours and 37 minutes. How long do you guys want to go? I mean I'm feeling fine. I
feel good. We could go at least another 15 minutes. Get a couple more rounds in. All right, Paul. What's next? Are you going to say Ginger Snaps?
I like Ginger Snaps as a movie.
I know you do.
I do.
That's the state of the subgenre for werewolves when we're saying Ginger Snaps is a great movie.
I gotta pull up the Ginger Snaps werewolf.
That is not my pick.
No, I know.
I'm gonna pull it up.
I know.
I just like the story of it. I mean, it's a well-written story, but it's a terrible werewolf design, and I will admit that.
Look at
that. Ugh.
It's like made out of like Play-Doh.
Yeah, man. It's weird.
Like the movie, like I'll be honest with you, the story kind of stuck with me, and then it was like I'm waiting, and that's what we get.
I will give you that the story is good. I like that dynamic between the two girls. It's just when it got to shit like this, I was like, nope.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I like the story of it. I think it's a good story. It's a clever twist, and it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
That's why I'm excited to see Dog Soldiers. I'm excited to see that because you guys are saying how good the story is.
Is he hooked up with Paul Flix, Paul?
Yeah, I think I sent you the link because that's how we did Halloween Ends.
Are you on Paul Flix, Chris? You got to get on it if you're not.
I went to the link so I could watch that movie, but am I still hooked into that?
Yeah, I think so.
You need me to fly out there to hook you up, don't you? You need me to sit there with the remote and set it all up for you, right? All right.
Yeah, and then you can play some pinball with me.
No, like your arcade, and
like, dude, you got to get on Paul Flix because you could watch all these fucking movies that were like Dog Soldiers is on there, dude. You'll love it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're two-legged like the Howling. It draws me into that movie for sure. I just for some reason I haven't seen it.
You know what? There aren't a lot of werewolf movies where they're bipedal. There really
Yeah.
aren't. I mean, it's American Werewolf, or I'm sorry, quad, four-legged is what I'm saying.
Right.
Quadrupedal or whatever.
Yeah.
There aren't very many movies that portray them that way.
Yeah, it's American Werewolf and Twilight.
And like Wolfen, but like in that movie, they're actually actual wolves. But
Yeah.
anyway,
By the way,
sorry. I didn't mean to-
best cinematography out of all three of those movies, Wolfen. Hands down.
Yeah, I agree.
I love it. It's not a werewolf movie, but man, that cinematography in that movie with that urban setting is
Took an evil
fucking glorious.
shapeshifter movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's
Yeah.
also that one with Angela Lansbury that's not
Company of
Oh,
Wolves.
Company of Wolves. Yeah.
Company of
Yeah,
Wolves.
Ryan brought that up earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your what's your thoughts on Company of Wolves, Paul?
I like it, but it's not a horror movie. It's like dark fantasy.
Yeah. Same with you, Adam?
Were you talking about Hemlock Grove earlier, Paul?
Yeah, Hemlock Grove was what I was talking about. Having like for a modern werewolf transformation that was actually pretty good. I like that one.
I don't think I've ever seen it. Company of Wolves.
Okay. But anyways, I'm gonna go to one of our all favorite discussion points, the zombie movie.
Woo!
And I'm gonna go with my favorite zombie design, which is Wormface in Zombie 2: The Dead Are Among Us.
Nice. Boy, you even went with the actual title,
Yeah,
like the real title.
it's the movie I watch on my birthday every year for like 26 years.
Good call, brother. That's great.
I just love this zombie. It's
Yeah.
so
It's hard to follow.
fucking
Look at that.
scary.
Yeah, it's
Look
great.
at that. Like this is
Like,
how the VHS was, I think.
yeah,
Maybe not with the two, I can't remember, but the VHS was just this.
yeah,
That's all that it was, and that was enough to tell me
yeah.
as a little kid, I'm staying the
I
fuck
mean,
away from that because that was so scary.
like, I don't know. Those zombies weren't really eating to survive or anything. They just wanted to fuck people up. And,
It's a great movie, man.
I
These
love
zombies are a combination of the Romero's. If you took the Romero zombies and like Tombs from the Blind Dead, and you push them together, like and
Yeah.
spit out something. This is because it feels so ancient.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was that was one of the conquistadors' graves that just came to life.
Yeah.
And does the throat rip and oh my god, I love this fucking movie so
It's
much.
really good, man. I want to see the takeover of downtown New York, man.
Yeah.
That shit we hear going on in the radio station, I wanted to see that shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like even the fat zombie at the beginning on the boat, I mean, it's just I love this movie. There's so many good zombies in it. I mean, and it's just I think this was like one of my very first Italian horror films, and I was hooked ever since. And you know me and my love of Italy.
It's by far the best one.
Yep.
It's by far the best one. It's the one that actually
Demons.
It's by
Might be the best. Demons
Demons
so
is right
good.
behind it, along with maybe Gates of Hell.
Yeah, Gates of Hell is
All
so
right,
good.
that's a discussion. Maybe Demons, but
Yeah.
those are the Italian movies that I can watch from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And not want to be put into like a forceful coma.
Yeah, but I mean, I gotta do zombie. I fucking love zombie, and like
It's a really
just
good
being
movie.
a 16-year-old, getting a VHS with my paycheck and watching it on my birthday, when making my friends see a zombie fight an actual shark,
Yeah.
and that eye popping scene. And like none of my friends had seen anything like it growing up, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "This might be the best movie I've ever seen."
Yeah.
That eye scene, my God, man. Oh,
Yeah.
it's fucking iconic.
Zombie versus shark is just.
I
It's so
mean,
good, man.
Like, that's just.
Damn. And then you hear, the sound
Like,
effects. Fulci's great with the sound editing, man. Fulci has amazing sound editing and sound effects in his films to really resonate within you, man, just to put you on edge.
that is the one. Whoever said the clamshell anchor bay zombie 2, that is the one. That is what
Oh,
I
that's definitely
bought
right.
with my
I think.
thing. I have that shirt with zombie versus shark.
Nice.
Yeah, I have that same exact shirt. I love that shirt.
Clamshell Anchor Bay Zombie 2, yep.
Yep. I bought that. It wasn't the first one that I bought from Anchor Bay, but it
Like,
was
how
one
the
of the
hell did they
early
do
ones.
this? His hand is actually in the fucking mouth. How did they
Yeah.
do that?
They filled it up with meat.
How did they do that?
They filmed it up with meat, and the guy was the trainer. And he wasn't even supposed to be the
You
guy
can't train
in
a
the
shark.
thing.
You can't train a shark. It's not a shamu. I don't care what they, I don't care what the fuck, it's
In
not
Italy, you
fucking,
can do whatever you want.
yeah, I'm not, yeah. I mean, and I'm glad that they did. And I'm glad like his entire arm wasn't like eaten, but like that's insane.
Yeah.
You can't train a shark with like thousands of years of evolution just saying eat this man's arm. Like why? Because he's got a handful of like cheese it and he's feeding it. Like
Yeah.
what? Like that dude should be dead. That dude should be dead. And maybe he is. It was made a long time ago.
Well,
But if he's not dead, he should have been that
but
day.
like the thing with that scene though is it was supposed to be a different actor, and that
I think he's
actor
actually
did
feeding him
not
cheeses.
show up. He said, "Fuck this," and so they got the trainer to put the makeup on.
How come we
Yeah,
never got a continuation of this story?
I don't know. I mean, Zombie
Yeah.
3 and Zombie 4 are the most 80s movies
It's
ever
just
made.
it's like The Howling. It's like they have a series of movies that don't have
Yeah.
anything to do with the first one, and they all fucking suck.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan. I know you're gonna jump in and tell me like the Birds of the Dead are awesome or something, but it's not.
Oh,
They
and
all
Zombie
suck.
3?
Marsupials.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
the
Zombie
Weremore
3
Supials.
Oh, yeah, and the Howling 3. And then in Zombie
Yeah.
3, those birds attack them, right?
Yeah.
Zombie 3
No,
has that
kill it.
crazy scene
Zombie.
with the pregnant lady, though, man, with the... Is it in that scene, is it a zombie arm that's underneath her that rips through her stomach? Or is it a zombie baby arm that comes through her stomach?
And Zombie 3?
Yeah.
Zombie
Do you know?
3, it is a zombie baby arm.
Okay.
Man, I
Well,
love
fuck.
those movies.
Oh, they're trash. But yeah, they're fun.
Killing Birds is the goat.
Killing Birds is shit. It wasn't even supposed to be a zombie movie. It's an unofficial sequel to an unofficial sequel. But Zombie 3 and Zombie 4 After Death are fucking the most 80s things you'll ever watch in your entire life.
They're bad. I don't know how far into production Fulci died when they were doing Zombie 3, but man,
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have been different. Who knows,
I don't know. I mean,
Paul, do you know how much of that film is actually his?
I heard different things, and the most common response is about 60%.
Okay. Well, 40% is enough to fuck something up.
60% of production, 0% of post-production.
Right.
So, so like on that scale, it's like 30%, because like you said, his sound editing was always top notch. His edits were good. I mean, his movies always had a great pace to them.
I agree.
You know, I mean, yeah, some of them are cheap and some of them are, not that great, but like his movies always flowed naturally.
That guy that's wandering around that ghost town in the beginning of Gates of Hell, and you just you hear the wind and the banging of the doors, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, Fulci. I don't know if there's another director that really dialed in the sound editing and effects like he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially for somebody that shot, without sound. Just with like a lot of the Italian films, they didn't even shoot sync sound because the financing, they would bring people in, from whatever country, and it was different European countries. So like most of the actors couldn't understand what the other person was saying. So it adds to like the whole weird factor of his movies. But I fucking love Fulci.
I want to see a remake of Demons.
Yeah.
God damn, do I want to see a remake of Demons?
Yeah.
Oh,
What's squelching mean?
squelching?
Yeah, a comment. Can you see the comment?
Oh yeah, I see it. What is it? Do you know what that means, Paul?
Pretty sure Fulci invented the word squelching.
I don't know, but I'm going to look it up. And if it's appropriate, I'll
If
read
it's
it.
on Urban Dictionary, it probably means something that I don't want to say.
Squelching.
Make a soft sucking sound such as that made by walking heavily through mud.
Oh yeah, like when she's vomiting her guts up, you hear like
Yeah.
the guts hitting the fucking floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
As
that.
soon as you read that that definition, I was like, I know what
Yeah.
he's saying.
I know exactly what they're talking about.
The Canadian are much more educated.
But I mean, Gates of Hell is so good. The Beyond.
A lot of people love the Beyond the most, but I like it, but I just feel Zombie and Gates of Hell are better.
I agree with you. Wow, we agree.
Fuck
On
yeah.
Italian.
Yeah. That's right. Love me some Italian sometimes.
Yeah, but
Eclectic taste, though. You're right.
yeah,
Like as much as I like the
I
makeup
was
on
100% on like the Italy train after seeing Zombie, and like I just could not get enough Italian horror. I saw Zombie before I saw Suspiria, before I saw Opera, or any Argento, and I had seen Black Sunday on AMC, but I never like considered it to be like an Italian movie. I didn't really think of it in those terms. But yeah, Bava and Fulci's are the gold goats with Argento at number 3 for me in terms of Italian films.
Oh, Bava, that's Black
Mario.
Sabbath, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that shit's been copied so many times it's sad, but like I watched Shock for the first time and like was totally blown away that there's a scene where all the appliances come to life and start laughing at the protagonist like Evil Dead. And like my mind was blown. Like that's an exact scene in there. Or another scene in that same movie where she's having a dream and a killer's coming at her with razors in his hands and she gets cut and she wakes up and the cuts are there, like in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, how does Sam Raimi and both Wes Craven both, sample from the same movie or homage or rip off? And it's just like when I saw Bay of Blood and the lovers get speared through the bed, just like in Friday 2 where they do the spearing.
It's either 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's either in 2 or 3 where he spears through the bed. Like that's an exact shot for shot remake of Bay of Blood. So, but yeah, I can talk about Italian horror to myself someday.
Just admit that a lot of it is nonsensical.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, who's next? Chris?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pumpkinhead.
Oh,
I feel Pumpkinhead as a movie's okay. It's got its problems, but as a creature and creature design, there's not much better. I feel that creature is super iconic, man. I feel like the crew that Stan had for that film really hit a home run.
I mean,
Again, it was
it's
another
the
film
most-
I saw as a kid that made me want to do what I do.
I love Pumpkinhead, and I'm gonna say it's one of the most beautifully shot American horror films ever
It's
made.
beautiful. The cinematography in this film is fantastic. Every scene is beautiful. Even in the beginning, the way it's shot, with like I don't know how they do it with like camera filters or something, but like the lighting, one of the other than like the puppetry and the creature effects is the lighting in this movie that always gets mesmer. Like here I'll pull it. The scene where Pumpkinhead is trying to enter the church.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
With the
And
strobe lights.
Just yeah, it's it's why don't you let me click
You're
on
cutting out a little.
you dick.
Yeah,
I-
that strobe
Look
light that they had on that shot was fucking awesome. With
Oh, I know what my next pick's
You
gonna
see it
be.
down?
oh yeah,
Hey, look at that. That's look how haunting that is.
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
and then
mean,
and
I
that's not
just
even
I love
going like Paul was saying earlier, haggis.
So great, man.
Like, look at haggis, dude.
yeah.
Like there is not a better witch in cinema, like ever.
So good. Yeah, it's a great fucking makeup, man.
And like even like some of the set pieces with like the pumpkin graveyard,
Oh yeah.
you know, where they go
The
to
baby Pumpkinhead.
yeah. I mean, it's just I like them. I like it. The story is great to me. Like it's like a little ghost story. You know, it's like a little ghost story that they just
Yeah.
like
It's too bad that
perfect.
the sequels are bad.
Oh, they're fucking terrible, man.
Ryan's gonna jump in and tell us how much he loves Pumpkinhead too.
Really? I don't
But
know, man.
I don't like it.
I mean, what's good about it? Everything in that is inferior to what we saw in the previous film, so how can it be good?
Ryan says Pumpkinhead still blows me away. I can't wrap my head around the fact that's Tom Woodruff Jr. in a suit.
Yeah. Tom Woodruff being directed by Stan. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the same crew that they had. So Stan had done second unit directing on Aliens. And then I don't know if I think a gnome named Norm was after this because he directed a gnome named Norm as well.
Yeah.
Terrible fucking movie. But I think this was his first film that he had done.
Anyway, just a great movie. I like you saw this as a kid, Chris.
Yeah, I saw in the theater.
Dude, I didn't see this until I was like in my late 30s.
It was on the cover of
don't know.
Fangoria.
I don't know why, dude. I just for whatever reason it didn't cross paths with me when I was
The
a
name
kid.
is kind of lame, and like Pumpkinhead sounds like a made-for-TV movie.
When I
Almost.
finally watched it, I was ashamed that it took me so long to watch it. I was like, what was I waiting for all that time? But you know what? Movies like that are great. It's awesome to find movies like that, even in your like older age, that you're still like, wow, what a great movie, you know?
I want people to make creatures like that again, though, man.
Yep.
I do too.
All right, guess I'm up, huh?
You're up, man.
I was gonna end on Pumpkinhead, so
Oh,
I can't do that now.
Well, since you were talking about the strobe, and I'm ready for it, can I bring up my next one? Are you opposed?
Well, how many rounds are we doing? I kind of thought we were
Alright.
ending on this one.
let's do a last round for everybody.
Last round.
Well, last
about
round for
this?
you guys, because I'll make Pumpkinhead my last one, so you guys do one more each.
How about this?
Woo! Hell yes. Big topic in the group today, too, I saw. In the sci-fi group.
Yeah, Adam and I just did a double feature of Robocop and Terminator last weekend.
Which one of you guys thinks Robocop is better?
I do.
Okay.
No, I don't necessarily think it's better. I like it more.
Oh, that's understandable because it's more as crazy as this sounds. I feel RoboCop has more uplifting moments.
I
that a-
love Terminator. I mean, I'm
that a
not
poll or
saying that
something?
it's. I don't know if I can
Yeah, it was a
go
poll.
and say that RoboCop is better,
Was it really? What'd you
It's-
make that poll?
but I
didn't see
like.
that.
I
That's
like.
tough, dude. I don't even know. Fuck, Terminator or Robocop?
I mean, they're so different, you know. But like, I don't know. Like one is action sci-fi horror, one is action sci-fi comedy, and I just and they all blend all three of those elements like masterfully.
Yeah.
When
You
I
know, and
saw,
even with me being a bigger horror
Yeah.
fan than a comedy fan, I just love RoboCop so much. It's so much fun. And
I agree.
you know, it's just but on the other hand, Terminator was one of my first on-screen breasts I saw as
that
a
is,
tween.
I love Robocop. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. But like I've seen that we've all seen that story before. Like the hero that gets destroyed and then he gets put back together again, or like there's many superhero archetypes in that. I'd never seen the first time I saw the Terminator, I was blown away. It's like it's a movie. Like don't get me wrong, I thought about RoboCop for days after I saw it, but not because I was sitting there picking apart the story. It was more like, wow, that movie was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it again. With the Terminator, like I was really like thinking about the story and just the ramifications of time travel and like what it all meant at the end and how things could fit. So it's like Chris says, a butt hair,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a butt hair above. I'll go Terminator over RoboCop, but by a butt hair.
Yeah.
And I mean, almost versus almost any other movie. There's only like a few other movies. Like I would say it's better than RoboCop.
Yeah.
I mean, RoboCop is a perfect movie.
Yeah.
It's a perfect movie.
His
The
best
thing,
film, too, by the
and
way.
the other thing about now I'm like talking myself out of my own decision because I love the Terminator. and you guys are all staunch. Both of you are staunch Terminator 1 guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's better. There's a part of me, dude, that enjoy. I love Terminator. I enjoy Terminator 2 more. I just do. I know.
It's not as dark.
But it's a fun movie, and
I
it's
agree.
just and it's awesome. Like
Dude, I will never hate on Terminator 2. You know,
well,
and
it's hard for me to So like I'm picking like so there's Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. Actually, Terminator 3 is fucking good.
Yeah.
Chris, have you ever weighed in on Terminator 3?
I like Terminator 3.
I mean, it's not the Cameron movies, but
It's
you
not the
know,
Cameron movies by a stretch. But as far as everything else we've got,
it was a perfectly serviceable sequel.
I thought it was okay. And I thought it had a great ending with the Armageddon happening and
yeah, it doesn't matter what we did, you're not stopping it. Yeah.
like that scene where like he's fighting the Terminatrix or whatever the hell, and he's hanging off the crane thing, and she's putting him through building after building after building. That shit is awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know what the scene I'm talking about?
Yeah, the truck
Like,
scene.
Dude,
And
it's
he flips
fucking cool.
the truck,
Yeah.
the crane.
So, and then you got Robocop. And Robocop 1 and 2, I think, are pretty good.
Oh, you're not going to bring up 3?
3 is awful.
What
It's so bad.
about the
And
TV
then
show?
there's the remake.
It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
awful.
3 bad.
Yeah, that remake's
only
awful. I
movie
worked on that,
RoboCop
man.
3
Awful.
is better than is the RoboCop.
I respect that you can say
20.
that things that you worked on are bad. I like that about you.
Oh man, you know me. I can't lie about shit like that.
Dude, I know.
I'll be on set sometimes for something, and I'll like nudge one of my coworkers, and I'll be like, "Man, this movie's gonna fucking suck."
3 has its merits. Like what? RoboCop can fly. What are the merits?
Yeah, he flies in 3 and the TV series. Yeah, and it's a different actor playing RoboCop.
Yeah, yeah.
RoboCop and the Homeless. It's basically Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Only not as good as Thunderdome.
What do you think about RoboCop 2?
I like it.
It's
like it or love it?
Like it.
Like it.
Okay.
But like it a lot.
Right.
Like it doesn't offend me in any ways. It didn't piss me off. Like there's only so much there's only so much you can do with that character.
Yeah.
I think 2 leaned into the camp factor a little bit more. I think it tried to strike the same tone as 1, but I think they had more campiness in 2, which I think makes it a lesser film.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, I just think, it's a matter of direction. I mean, Paul Verhoeven is really good at satire. Like Total Recall, Starship Troopers. He is just a fucking mastercraft at satire. That's probably why I give RoboCop the edge over Terminator, just because I love satire.
This thing is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And like what's his name? Tom Noonan is in this movie, and like me and Paul will forever love Tom Noonan. We met that dude. He's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Which guy is that?
Tom Noonan.
He's the bad guy.
Oh, okay.
You'll know him as soon as you see him.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah. Because I was on who's the actor? He's not around anymore. He plays the guy that gets killed. The guy that started up RoboCop. He's with the prostitutes. He gets killed.
Miguel,
I don't know. He's like 80s Jeremy Piven.
So I worked with him. I was on set in Pasadena on Iron Man 3. He plays is he the president or the vice president in Iron Man 3?
Miguel Ferrer?
Yeah.
Was Bob.
So I went up to him because I was like, fuck, man, I want to talk to him about RoboCop. I went up to him and I go, "You're going to be a bad motherfucker."
Did he know what you were talking about?
Yeah, he fucking started laughing and gave me a fucking hug, man. It was like, fuck yeah, dude.
That's so cool.
Dude, I love RoboCop, and I love
Yep. I was like, fuck it, man. I'm doing it. My boss wasn't around me because, they don't like it when we talk to the talent. But sometimes we have to. But he was in a completely different area than what I was. I just went up to him and I went to talk to him about RoboCop, man. And he talked about it. He said how much fun it was and how he really enjoys still talking about what he did in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
That's
it's just,
awesome.
I mean, it's a total classic. But yeah, back to Terminator. I love the Terminator design, the T-100, like the exoskeleton or whatever. Um, I love the vehicles. I used to draw them a
Right.
lot when I was a kid.
Talk amongst yourselves while I hit the hit.
Sure.
Okay.
Paul, has in your opinion, has there ever been a better written sci-fi story than Terminator? Because I've gone on record saying I feel that story and the way it's written, I feel is the greatest science fiction story I've ever seen put to film.
I mean,
And I know when you say sci-fi, it you're talking about a lot of different things.
yeah, because I'm like, am I going to include Star Wars in this conversation or, but especially Empire.
But we basically have a cybernetic Michael Myers that goes back in time, wipes out everybody with the name Sarah Connor but one person, and spends the rest of the movie hunting her down like a fucking maniac. That's incredible.
It is. And I mean, it's such a great fucking movie. I mean, I, budgetary problems and technology problems, you know, compared to, Terminator 2, which was like the height of effects at the given time. Like nobody saw shit like that before,
Right.
and, uh, but I think you go back to the story. I mean, Terminator 1 is so horrific because it's got like that Minority Report, like she wasn't even pregnant, she wasn't even seeing anybody, and it just happens that this chain of events brought it along. I mean, it's so good because like how much, like, it makes you wonder if the Terminator killed Sarah Connor, would the Terminator exist? You know?
Right.
Like I wrote a fan fiction after Terminator 3 for one of my writing classes in college. And like the whole plot of it was John Connor realizing the only way to stop the Terminator is if he's never born, and Kyle Reese realizing he'll be wiped out too, and everybody that he knows will be wiped out with it, that he goes back to stop the Terminator that John Connor sent to kill his mother. So I like wrote that. It was like 50% future, 50%, past, like it would end with the beginning of Terminator 1. And I think, especially given in Terminator 2, because like John Connor realizes like the events of Terminator 1 fucked his childhood up too, you know? And like if she was just a normal mom, maybe things would have been different. But, who knows? But it was a cool story. It was way better than the Terminator Salvation that we ended up getting. But, and all the other ones that came after. Although I haven't seen Dark Fate yet, but Genesis was like I couldn't even finish it.
I know, man.
Yeah.
And I
I
watch shark movies that are made for Sci-Fi Channel all the time, and I could not get through Genesis.
Yeah, that's a bummer too, man. That's one
But
of those things where I work on a property on as far as something I grew up with and cherished, and then I work on like a sequel or a remake, and then I watch it and I'm just like, oh no, really? That sucks.
like I just think, you know, the whole way to like, John Connor just realizing that the time machine was the only way to stop the Terminator from existing. And I just thought that was such a great idea that I had such a hard time watching anything that someone else came up with. So, but I guess that'll bring me to my final pick, and I'm going to go with one of the first movies to really scare me as a kid.
All right. Final pick of the
And
night.
I am going to do The Ghost at the Top of the Stairs in Poltergeist. The big one?
The white one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great effect.
It's so good. Like, I watch Poltergeist once a year, and it's still
There it
like,
is.
yeah, that thing freaked me the fuck out because I had never seen anything like it. And I was like, oh my God.
Does it say who did that effect, Adam? Does it say on that caption right there who did it? I can't remember.
I know ILM was behind a lot of it, but I don't know who.
Yeah, I don't know if it was ever credited to a specific person.
I know Craig Reardon, who was an old school special makeup effects guy back then. I know he did some stuff that got cut. I don't know if he did stuff that made it into the movie. I should actually know more about that movie, and I don't. I know more about part 2 special effects than I do part 1.
Yeah. I mean, you have the worm monster, you have the little clown thing. I mean, those were great effects.
Yeah. I mean, Boss Films worked on part 2. I think part 1 was almost
look at
all
that.
I own. Yeah, that's so great, man.
Look at that.
That's so great. Like that face that comes out of the closet.
And like, dude, I love this movie so much. And she's like yelling, like, I watched this again recently, and I got like emotional about it. Like, she's like yelling back at it
Yeah.
because she's like, trying to get her kids.
Give me
Like,
back my baby.
as terrified,
Yes.
as terrified as she is, she's yelling back at it.
Yeah.
I had a big crush on her too, growing up.
Dude,
Oh, I did too. Jo
hard
Beth
not
Williams?
to. Hard not to.
So beautiful,
Especially
man.
when she got dragged across the ceiling with
Oh,
it was just like
man.
her panties.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know if she acts anymore.
Cool thing about that movie too is like it was the first time I ever saw normal people like do drugs.
Yeah.
All right.
In most movies, especially in the 80s, if you did drugs, you were either like a drug dealer or
You look like
junkie.
Charlie Sheen and Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen and
But like it's like the first movie that I've ever seen where it was just it's like two normal people like just enjoying a blunt together or a
Middle
joint or
American
whatever it was.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were just like hanging out and having
No,
fun.
he's reading a book about Reagan.
Yeah, but like they were having like such a good time with each other,
Yeah.
just hanging out in their bedroom. Like the day was over, the kids are in bed, we finally have some alone time, and then fuck, do I know what that's about now?
Yeah.
And it's like, and then you can like, we can just like relax and be ourselves and not have to like, be these pillars of wisdom or protection or whatever the fuck we are, and just like relax and like unwind and be ourselves again for like an hour or two, and it's just like I just really relate to that now. It's like,
Oh, I
geez.
know. Like,
preach, guys.
Sleepover, we had a little bit of fun stuff, and
It's just a great movie.
we did that. We watched.
I feel like this is a movie in general that's it's sad. Is funny as it is. I think it's a little underrated. I think it's a little underappreciated.
Yeah.
Like very rarely in any horror groups that I go to is this movie talked about. I mean, here and there, like around the anniversary of its release.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I think in some of the polls where you've talked about best ghost movies ever, I think this definitely ranks up in the top 3 normally.
It does, but it always gets demolished by like The Shining or The Fog and like those are great movies. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I understand why.
But like, honestly, this movie has a lot to do.
I mean, I think it's right up there with
movie.
those two as far as go. I mean, it's a great movie. I don't know.
I even like part 2 a lot, and
it's like one of those movies you can watch with the whole family, just about.
Yeah.
You know,
part 2 is good, Paul. Part 2 is real good.
Yeah,
It's
part
fun.
3 we won't talk about, and the remake we won't talk about. But I mean, like that ghost at the top of the stairs. Like when I was a kid, it was like an image that was like seared into my mind of like, just like those images that just blew me away.
But like, what about like the other scenes though? Like, how about the face peeling scene?
The face peeling scene is fantastic.
Like, this isn't a PG movie. It's not even PG-13, or is it?
Yeah, it's
This is
PG-13.
the movie that created the PG.
Oh, they created the PG-13. Like, look at this.
Yeah, they said after this one.
Look at this. Man,
That's so good.
gifts are a great way to not get removed for playing a video.
Yeah.
Look at that. You can like actually almost watch it.
Wait a minute. Was this movie released PG and then after Temple of Doom came out, they went back and put a PG-13 on it? Do you guys know if that's true or not? Because I thought Temple of Doom was the first official PG-13 film to be released.
No, they created it because of the backlash from this movie.
Ah, okay. Okay.
It wasn't Jaws?
No, Jaws was PG.
Yeah.
That's insane that Jaws was PG.
I agree, man, because if that was released now, it'd be PG-13.
At least.
Yeah.
All that movie would need is one F-bomb, and that's rated R.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you get one F-bomb for a PG-13. You're allowed one F-bomb.
Right, yeah. So.
But like, I love Poltergeist. It's such a great movie. And that will be my final pick. And it's just like the thing at the top of the stairs. I mean, there's so many incredible shots in that movie.
Agreed.
I agree, fellas. I'll tell you what, man. We definitely got to try to do this at least once a month. I thoroughly enjoyed the past 3 hours and 21 minutes, man. It's been a fucking fun ride,
dude.
man.
I did too.
I think the first time we did this, I got seriously disheartened because we kept getting taken down because I was trying to put clips in that had like music and shit, and I thought I had my bases covered, and I didn't apparently. So, but no, we need to do this more often. We definitely do because this is awesome.
Yeah, man.
It's
like
fun.
I even learned a whole bunch of shit tonight that I didn't really know about. So it's good to talk with fellow fans that have as much knowledge as me or more. So it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's honestly, guys, I mean, I'm so happy to be in the group. I feel like I wasn't even on Facebook before I got into your group. And I think I entered your group right after I joined Facebook a couple of years ago. And being in the group thoroughly has made me happier. I really enjoy going in there and reading other people's posts and reading, cool facts. And it's been a lot of fun.
I know, and I knew you were special because I absolutely enjoyed you ripping apart my glowing review of Event Horizon. It's my first interaction with you. I'm just like, who the fuck is this guy? Getting all over Event Horizon.
Dude, if that movie just had a little bit more, man. Just a little bit more. It doesn't go far enough. It makes you want more. And I don't like that feeling after I watch a movie, unless you're going to make a fucking sequel. And I knew that movie wasn't going to have a sequel. So I wanted it all. I wanted the other side. I wanted them to show the ship go to the other side. They never fucking do it.
Yeah.
It could have been better. I mean, not to be a fence sitter, but I see both of your points. I like Event Horizon, but like the terrifying moments are like absolutely fucking terrifying.
I agree.
Like there's a lot of moments in between where I wouldn't call it filler.
It
because
needed
you get good exposition.
Better of a director.
Yeah, they're just in better hands,
and ironically, that's probably his best fucking film.
Yeah, it is 100%.
Sorry. I know. Listen, I understand that there is a big fan base to Event Horizon. I wanted more than the video. I wanted to see the other side and what it did to them. And I feel like that was an opportunity we could have had of like true fucking terror in that film. And we never got it. It ends up turning into like almost like a slasher film, you know, in a way. I don't know.
Yeah, with Sam Neill as Pinhead,
I
whatever he
I
was at the end.
love this movie so much. It's so good. And you
Well, I
know,
think Erie and Canada are very similar.
yeah, because like I'll tell you what, when that movie bombed, I didn't understand it because it sold out at the movie theater I was working at all the time.
I guess he's talking about the deleted scenes or the
Yeah.
stuff they just
Oh
ripped
yeah. Yeah,
Like-
I guess they couldn't put it together. They're missing too much stuff. I guess there's a whole bunch of other stuff that they actually shot, but they can't find it.
Yeah. And they've been trying, like Shout Factory tried to get it for their release. And I don't know. I love Event Horizon so much.
I love
But
the miniatures. The miniatures are great. Really well done.
yeah, I don't know. Can we get either a prequel or I would be okay with a remake, I guess, you know, if it's somebody good, you know,
I think a remake would be great. What if I'm sorry, who are you involved with the Alien Project? What is his name?
Oh, Fede Alvarez.
Dude, what if he did Event Horizon?
Oh yeah, I mean that's a humongous step up in quality.
That's totally up his alley too.
Yeah.
He likes
Or
he's he loves sci-fi and horror.
yeah, or
Have you met him, Chris, by the way?
I have, and you know what, guys? He's a huge proponent of practical makeup effects. He loves practical makeup effects.
that's great to hear.
So there's gonna be a shitload of practical fucking gags and effects done in this new Alien, man.
Is that Alien Romulus then?
I can't say yes or no to that, Adam.
Okay. All right. Very well. All right, very well.
But hey, you know, if we talk in our little chat with just the three of us, I'll totally tell you.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. All right.
Yeah.
So who's up?
I think that's it, man.
I think that's it.
All right, I'm doing one more.
Oh yeah, do it. Oh, absolutely.
Chris, did you just go?
No, go ahead. I want to hear what you got.
But did you go? Who just went?
No, but I'll do one more, but I'll let you go first.
Well, we're going in rotation. You go, then I want to end.
No, I need a minute.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Because I thought we were done.
Oh, this. All right. Well, real quick, we don't have to stay long, but
no, go for
it. Here's a dude. Like, I'm not even like the biggest fan of these movies, and not that they're bad. I just didn't grow up with them. They're not bad at all.
Oh, well, I'm super intrigued now.
After like the third or fourth. But I don't think that any of us will be able to argue that the character design is it's probably top 5, top 2. I mean, especially when it's of the slasher variety.
Oh, okay.
Freddy fucking Krueger.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even like there are people that are super into Freddy, right? I'm not one of these dudes. But like Freddy Krueger is like it's so iconic that it's underappreciated.
Yeah.
Like iconic character, but
seeing it.
Yeah. Iconic character, Adam, but even more so, especially after part 2, iconic scenes of just insanity when it comes to special makeup effects. Like Dream Warriors really, really took it to another level, and then they tried to up the ante on 4, on 5, not really maybe 6 as much, but 4 and 5, like 3, 4, and 5 had like some of the greats of all time doing special makeup effect gags for some of those dream sequences, and they were all fucking amazing.
I mean, and then I'm just gonna.
I mean, I'll give you that 4 and 5 probably look like the effects look great, but I just don't like those movies at all.
Oh, I'm not saying they're good. I
Yeah.
know there's people in the group that fucking love those movies. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying they kind of took the special makeup effects gags to a whole different level with those, like with the cockroach, with the scene when the girl's getting fed. I mean, there's all these crazy effect sequences that were fucking righteous, man. But yeah, the movie's not great.
And then real
What
quick,
are you doing? What are you doing,
has there
Adam? What are you
ever
doing?
has there ever been better effects than like the time and effort put into this mask? That really looks like a used condom.
Oh, fuck Don Post Studios, man. That's all I got to say. I don't know what happened. I don't know why they went with a store-bought Don Post mask. Correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, but in the movie, he breaks into another dime store and steals the mask off a shelf.
Yeah,
kind of like what he does with part one, right?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, it makes sense that the masks keep changing because like they're Halloween masks, and like it's going to be hard to get the same one every time. So like, I'm not like if the mask that didn't look so pathetic. I still like Halloween 4. I fucking love Halloween 4, but like
me too.
It's
except
hard.
For the mask,
it's hard to defend that mask. It really is. Like if they had just put a little bit more effort into the mask, but
And Adam, that's the one thing that just really tears me the fuck up about that movie is, and we talk about it all the time. Somebody talked about it last week in the group. The opening sequence, one of the great opening sequences of a horror film of all time. The cinematography on that farm is breathtaking. It is beautifully shot.
There's nothing more Halloween-esque in the entire franchise.
Totally agree. It's fucking incredible.
As far as the holiday.
Right.
Yeah.
And every time Michael Myers shows up on screen, I fucking cringe.
Yeah, it's just hard. It totally takes me out of it. And I don't know. But I mean, Adam's tried to convert me. I don't hate it like I used to hate it, but I mean, I still don't like 5, and I absolutely will never not hate 6. But especially the producer's cut where he gets stopped with rocks, really. But like, I mean, it's basically the running water in Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Like, really, a shower is going to kill this guy. But I don't know. I mean, as much as we want to shit on Don Post, I love the Halloween 3 masks. But, I mean, those are some of my favorite masks. But you're bringing this up, and I don't want to throw something out real quick. But, you know, you brought up Freddy, and you brought up the Halloween. What about Sam from Trick or Treat? When they
when you guys were talking earlier about the top 2 movies from the 2000s, and we brought up The Descent, and we brought up what was the other one?
30 Days a Night.
30 Days a Night. That was that. Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Unabashedly, I think that movie is so good. I think it's such a great Halloween movie. I almost wish there wasn't that nudity in the part with the werewolf scene, because if that wasn't there, it's almost, I mean, some gory scenes.
It's scary.
It's almost just a movie you can watch with the whole family.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to walk out of the room because you know, even I'm 43 years old. I still don't want to watch tits with my mom and dad in the room.
Right.
I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't. So like it's almost that movie. Like if that one little part wasn't in it, like it's a movie you could put on, almost like Charlie Brown's Christmas, or you know, Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown or whatever. Like just
More scary stories to tell in the dark.
Oh, good analogy. Yeah, that's a great double
scary
feature, guys.
stories
It is.
and Trick or Treat are, tentpole Halloween movies for me from here
Yeah.
on out. I love them. I can't wait till Max is a little older and he can. I tried to watch Monster Squad with him last Halloween and he freaked the fuck out. So
Oh shit!
You have to skip.
he
the
wasn't even
beginning.
2. So I thought I was safe. I was like, hey, he's a baby. He's not gonna like be scared of anything, dude. No, he was scared. I was like, "Ugh." Turn that off real quick.
So I'll end the night, and I have been thinking about this and thinking about this and thinking about this. Okay, let me ask your guys' opinion first. And I think maybe, Paul, you already gave your answer earlier. Greatest zombie ever created. Adam, go.
Wow. Tarman.
Yeah. With his movement and just what he does. Yeah. He's right there.
I love Tarman, and I also love like the Civil War zombie that calls for the paramedic.
Oh, send more cops, right?
I mean, I really like the original goal of Night of the Living Dead, but we're talking about designs and creature designs, and there really
design,
wasn't.
special effect
There really
achievements.
wasn't one for him. He was just the actor, So I'm not gonna put him up, but I mean, Tarman. I mean, we've had
I
that
love
pull
the
in our group
Blind Dead
before, and
ones. I love.
I mean,
I think it's a two-way race between Bub and Tarman.
yeah.
You know, you could say Flyboy.
I don't really like Bub as much as I like the husband and wife, like the marriage, the wedding zombies in Day of the Dead. But like every time I watch Day of the Dead, and I will say this about that movie to its credit, I see a new zombie that I fucking fall in love with. You know?
Yeah, dude. To this day, I think that's the best. I think that's the best. Like, take everything out, story, whatever. Just if you're a zombie aficionado, if you just want to watch a zombie movie and like just soak in like as many zombies and varieties and like it's just such a cornucopia of like awesomeness. Like you can pick something new out every time you watch it. Just you can pause a scene. Sometimes I've paused the scene, went to the bathroom, come back, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, whoa, look at that. In the corner, there's like a fucking ballerina zombie or something. Like I was like, I've never noticed that before.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's such an amazing movie that
Like they
for
did.
so long was slept on as like the inferior step second, step brother to the first two films. And the first two films are masterpieces. Don't get me wrong, but like the more I watch the movie, the more I recognize the greatness that is in it, and it belongs. Like those three films, like Ryan likes to say, chef's kiss.
Yeah,
Those
man.
first
Hey,
three films,
Yeah.
fucking perfection, and they're
I
so
would.
different. They're so
Yeah,
different.
all three of them. I would say that arguably, but if you guys can name one right now, I'm all ears. I can't think of a better trilogy than the Romero Dead trilogy. Night, Dawn, and Day.
Yep.
And for those facts that you just laid out, Adam, each one is different. All three are connected, and all three are so fucking good, man.
They really
Yeah.
are. They really are. I mean, it almost like I can't even tell you
Especially
how.
the black and white version of Dawn.
Oh yeah, man. I gotta watch that again, dude. That's yours, right? You
Yeah.
got that in your list, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll throw the remake of Night of the Living Dead in because I think that's just a fabulous movie as well. I think it's just so good. and that's kind of where it stops for me as far as those. I mean, if we're splintering off the Return of the Living Dead franchise, which I'm assuming we are, we're gonna call that its own separate thing. That's where it ends with me because Land of the Dead was like one of the one of the worst cinematic disappointments I've ever had.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
fucking trash.
so fucking pumped for that.
And you know what really sucks is like that one guy who's always had all the local cons, the Big Daddy zombie.
Big Daddy guy, yeah, he's at all the local cons. And he dresses up in full Big Daddy garb with
Yeah,
the contacts and everything. Looks just like he does in the movie, just about. And he's
Wow.
an awesome dude. Like he will talk to you for like an hour. Like
Yeah.
he's just like, dude, I'm all about just come. And it's just like every time I see him, I'm just like, I don't have anything to say to you anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like your movie. You're
Yeah.
a great dude, but I'm
and
not
he
giving,
was a great zombie.
give
I
you
think
20
like
bucks to have a conversation with you.
like
His-
he's not why Land of the Dead sucks.
No, not at all. But the script is all over the place. There's a good story in there somewhere.
Well, yeah, it's the story that was originally in Day of the Dead.
Like-
That was all. Remember, that was all part of the original script that he wanted to do for Day, but he couldn't. He didn't have the budget.
Like how he had like it's downtown Pittsburgh. Now he has all the bridges
Yeah.
sectioned off. Like
Yeah.
that's cool. That's really
Yeah.
cool. You had Dennis Hopper.
And
Dennis
John
Hopper.
Leguizamo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
John
a wasted,
Leguizamo.
what a wasted opportunity.
I agree, man. Guys, my phone's at 1.5%.
All right,
So
all right, man.
Okay,
All right.
well,
Well,
see
we'll
ya.
just we can just. You want to just end it here?
Yep.
yeah,
All right. Let's do this again soon, you guys.
I
fellas.
want to do movies you would like to see remade next.
Oh,
That's a good one.
that's the next
Good one.
topic. I love it.
Thanks
right.
to everybody that. Hold on, Ryan. Real quick, said what do you say? I just can't hate a movie that has John Leguizamo and Dennis Hopper.
Hey, he's right.
I feel him.
Yeah,
feel him.
he's right.
Ryan, you're awesome, man. Thanks for watching
Yeah,
all the way through. Ryan was
Yeah.
with us the whole time. Oh, Ryan,
that's.
next time we have to get Ryan in here too. Ryan,
Oh, that'd be
you
great.
haven't met Ryan, Chris, but
No.
he's funny as fuck, and he'll fit right in. Like
Fuck yeah,
with our
let's
group.
do it, man.
So
Yeah,
you
all
guys
right.
it
are the
could be
best, man.
Adam and Chris, and then me and Ryan, who like the weird shit and direct to video and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
my fucking.
Oh, we just lost him.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Good
Later,
hanging
dude.
out.
Good talking to you, dude.
Yep. Take
Till
it
next
easy.
time. All right. Bye.